Thanks MJ_Warriors_fan for the sub.
MJ, thank you for the sub. What the heck? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, hi, everybody. Hi, hi.
Hey, hi, hello.
Hi.
Hey, hi, hello, start.
Thank you, Michael Jackson Warriors fan.
Thank you so much for the sub, MJ. Now you got my goober emo, and you can stream, and you can do all sorts of other cool stuff.
Pretty good emotes.
You can also do a home.
Here are all my favorite emotes: the sussy, chair spin. I really like Puns is smug. Ha is pretty good. And Chaos is good.
I think the chair spin and the haw are my favorites. I'm sorry, but like Michael Jackson. So what does
No
the
Michael
MJ stand
Jackson.
Michael Jordan, maybe? Or just their name? These are my guesses. As I wait with bated breath.
for?
Our pizza delivery from Pizza Hut is being delivered by DoorDash. So you could just order it through DoorDash.
MJ
No, they
stand
need to have
for-
DoorDash's fees.
Yep.
Moose Jaw of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Oh, I see.
Interesting. Jaw. Interesting. Yeah, sorry for being a little bit late, everyone. Me and CL went out to dinner tonight, so we were a little bit late. We went to the chicken place we like to go to. I got some bone-in garlic parmesan wings, and she got some boneless wings with the spicy sauce they had, and it was super duper good, super duper tasty. We also got some fruity yogurt, not fruity yogurt. What was it? I thought it was
Frozen
called
yogurt.
Frozen yogurt. There we go. I forgot for some reason the word frozen just disappeared from my mind. I don't know why. But yeah, we got frozen yogurt, and it was also very, very tasty. Let's see. Do I have the picture with me? I don't want me to show you guys. You're gonna be Dr. Red Panda? Hell yeah, MJ.
Yeah,
I
you
decided to change your name.
you know that you're gonna change your name in 3 days, or that's just how long Twitch takes. It's when the debut happens. You know.
Sometimes it has a cooldown, and like maybe you're hitting the cooldown.
Okay. I've actually never tried to change my name on Twitch, so I don't know how that process works.
Or have they? You have 2016.
Barry McPops.
That was leftover from last stream, I
What
think. I don't know. That was like a
The heck are the
McDonald's thing.
Barry McPops?
I think that was like a McDonald's. We were talking about McDonald's for some reason. Last Saturday.
You're also set to playing the Bazaar right now.
Oh crap! I forgot. I forgot to change the game. Oh no. Hopefully no one knows that I forgot to change the
Just say
the
you're
title
playing
originally.
Monster Hunter Wilds. We'll get more viewers.
True.
I think so. Or do you think variety right now would have more viewers because of all the people that all their streamers are only playing Monster Hunter Wilds?
That was my opposite experience for my Thursday stream because viewership was terrible on Thursday. It was really, really low, but for good reason because Monster Hunter was literally released during the stream, and so a bunch of people were probably playing that.
Oh yeah, that would definitely.
Yeah. It also didn't help that I started the stream at 10:30, which is 2 hours and 30 minutes later than I normally do because of work stuff. So also that's probably why. But I don't know. Definitely have been a lot of people playing Monster Hunter.
Thinking about a mouthful of strawberry froyo, cookie dough bites, and gummy worms. The gummy worms just seem strange.
I just kind of wanted some gummy worms. I was like,
I
"Ooh,
mean,
so like it's
thinking
one of
about
those.
it, it's just a little treat that you eat off the top of the cup. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. That's what it was. Just a little treat, for me to munch on. And so it's one of those places where, you pay based on the weight of the cup. So it's like one of the places where like you just put in whatever ice cream you want into it, you serve yourself, and then you put whatever toppings you want, and then at the end it's weighed and then you pay. So I figured, okay, well, I might as well put some extra stuff in there, right?
I mean, personally, I also like. I seriously do enjoy the like texture of frozen gummies for some reason. I think there might be something wrong with me, but I love that. I love like gummies that are really cold.
I don't think there's anything wrong with Yuki because it definitely does have a different texture when they're a little cold. They get less melt in your mouthy and chewy and a little bit harder to chew, and it's very satisfying to chew through them.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why I like putting the gummy worms in there actually, because it's like some of them are like nice and easy to chew. Then the ones near the ice cream are like a little bit harder, and it's very, very satisfying. Well, only a little bit. I don't want it like mixed in with the ice cream too much or anything like that. Oh, I'll say it still tastes fine with the ice cream mixed in. But yeah, I love cookie dough in my ice cream though. Cookie dough is one of my favorite flavors outside of like mint or mint chocolate chip. 26 days left. It was originally 60 80 days. Gotcha. Cute, MJ, cute. I love how you found a good way to make use of the thigh emote with a little fox rubbing against it. It's cute.
Creative.
Yeah.
Like throwing it back on the strawberry.
Yeah. Womp. Hi,
Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. Hope you're doing good, SDB.
Womp.
Womp. Yeah. I think it will be just 3 of us for tonight. Booting up gum. Beep. Beep beep. Beep. Beep beep beep.
Just need a couple beep beep stems in there, you know.
Beep beep.
Gotta give people their stimmies.
Oh, here. I can do the stems in a second. Oh right, they added the stupid thing at the top, so there's so much scrolling now.
Womp.
Yeah, there's too much scrolling. I hate doing the boo womp when it's so much scrolling.
Yeah, I wish. It sucks that the power-ups now like block the top of the reward, so you have to like scroll down even more to get to the good stuff. I wish I could like organize these a little bit into like groups. It'd be nice if I could like put all of like the model change redeems next to each other. Or got the loud one, Yuki.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty good luck. Pretty good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really. What the heck?
Definitely have the weight set up.
Oh, it's been set up. Like it's not. It hasn't been changed.
Meowch. Shed. Yeah. Speaking of Monster Hunter Wild, have you guys been enjoying in the game? I know Seal's been having a lot of fun with it. You've been playing it right now?
Yeah. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's really good. It's like, it's pretty similar to Worlds. It's just like slightly newer in some of the things. And like the campaign, I think, is better than Worlds. Like
I noticed that there's a lot more emphasis on like I think story and characters and stuff At least it feels like than the other one.
And I mean, I like Monster Hunter. It's not that. It's similar to Worlds. It's not that easy to play with other people. Like, it's actually like maybe harder in Wilds. Like, I don't know. Suki would say that I'm wrong about that, I think, but it's like just kind of annoying. It seems like it could have been a little easier to do.
Yeah, I think I remember that from last night. I was watching you guys play, and there was like some kind of you were trying to play together, but because one person didn't do a certain quest, it just wouldn't let you play together. You think?
Like, it's hard for you all to play the same mission that you're all on. So, like, if we're all in the same campaign step, you have to do the same workaround stuff you had to do in Worlds, where it's like you go into the cutscene, you play just enough until you get to the begin quest, and then you back out, and then you join the other person, and it'll count for all of you. There might be some way to do it now where you like do the environment link, but I don't think that does actually fix the problem I'm talking about. So just kind of like most people just do the campaign and then go back and play some of it with other people that are behind them, or just end up hunting monsters, which is the post campaign. Like you get into high rank and then you start fighting monsters just because you want to.
Okay. Makes sense, but you think
But the campaign is really good, and like Ciel's not done with the campaign, and she's like farther along than me.
Really? How long are the campaigns usually?
That's what I was curious. It says, generally speaking, you can beat Monster Hunter Wilds campaign in roughly 14 to 16 hours. So that would explain why I'm not done. 12 to 20 hours.
Dang. I mean, hey, 12 to 20 hours is definitely pretty good for a campaign, I guess. Definitely
yeah, and most of your time that people play Monster Hunter is like your most of your time you end up playing the game is non-campaign. With other people.
A lot of like socializing or just crafting stuff and all that stuff.
Which I like.
I definitely would play with you guys if I could. It definitely seems fun. I think I tried to play the one on the Wii U, and I think it just didn't click for me. Like I think I got like a little. It didn't like hook me, I guess.
I never got into Rise. Like I loved Worlds, and I kind of bounced off of Rise for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, not really sure why, to be honest.
But all the games are like, I know there are some mechanical changes between the games, but like they're all just the general, you hunt down a monster, you fight it, you kill it, you use its body parts to craft new loot, etc.
Yep.
Right?
Pretty much.
Interesting. Right.
And like you do the harder difficulty ones and stuff, and that's also just like hard to be hard.
By everyone knowing the boss already
get better. I kind of can't remember.
What'd you say?
I said like the armor rewards get better too for that. I think like you start having to do harder ones to make certain levels of armor. I think. I actually don't remember.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I figure I do Soap's voices and Yuki does Koi's voices.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Like it seems like that would work.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would work out pretty good. Be a nice little even split between the two of you. Otherwise, I was just gonna ask who wants to voice this whenever they pop up. and just take things from there.
Because then I do like Frederico, what's his name, the Italian mobster,
Mm-hmm.
and the clumsy girl.
Yeah. And
Yuki
then
does all the narrator type people,
Yuki
and
would be
the like
the
shy terrorist.
as well as the dude who threatened the baby last time.
Ow! Hold on. I almost said the name of the character. I want you to see the name of the character in real time.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you had looked ahead a little bit. Do you think they're gonna
Yeah, I
pop up
wanted to
this
know
time?
what kind of characters there would be to voice.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll learn this time.
Okay. But yeah, I guess if there's nothing else we want to yap about, we can get right to it. When I wake up the next morning, I feel miserable. I didn't have any dreams last night. Well, I don't think I did anyway. There's no doubt they would have been nightmares, if any. Maybe that's why I don't remember. Might as well get the store ready. Fortunately, I'm able to get the store up and running like normal. Probably because work should keep my mind off everything else. I guess we probably should have recapped a little bit. Last
Some babies got threatened to be murdered.
True. Rinka. Okay, did Rinka meet the lady that is probably gonna get eliminated. Next selection is number 7, right?
Oh, I don't remember a number. Oh yeah, I voiced her, huh? She's definitely dying.
Oh yeah. She.
Yeah, that's the curse. You voice it, dead.
But yeah, last time, another one of the characters interacted with Rinka, desperately asking her for her information. She's like, heck no, and ran away, and went away. And then Rinka and Naomi did some research on her and met with her at the hospital, where they got to talk a little bit, and she tried to have Rinka do a little ceasefire of sorts, but then Rinka was like, "Aha! I see through you. You have nothing on me." And then they left. And then the forgot his name, number 12, I think he was, came to the hospital and basically threatened that woman's child, saying that he would murder that woman's child if he didn't give him all the information he needed to eliminate her. And she did give it to him, so she will likely be eliminated tonight. Or not tonight, or whenever the next divine selection happens. I forget how many days away it is, but that's generally what happened last episode, I think. Also, hi, Acto,
right.
hi. Oh,
No, don't shoot STB.
Why you shoot the STB? Before long, it's afternoon. The number of customers dropped significantly around this time, thanks to the current lack of a proper food menu. Excuse me. Oh.
Table for 1, well, 2. Is that okay?
And this is the woman I was talking about, Keko. She's the one who's probably going to be eliminated next selection.
There you go.
Keko. Kamabuchi Keko arrives, baby in her arms. I see no reason to turn them away, so I lead her to an empty table. She orders coffee, so I make sure to brew it like I always do. Last thing I want to is let any of my sadness or sympathy leak into it.
This is delicious.
Oh, cute! This baby has a little baby with her. Oh.
The baby whose name is gonna get reversed.
Ooh! Oh my god! I forgot about that for a second there. Because so Her death was she died shortly after childbirth, but because she was quote unquote brought back due to divine selection, the battle royale thing we got going on, she was able to change the name of the baby, than to what its previous name was. So when she dies, it's gonna be reverted back. Oh.
And that's what she cared so much about. Doesn't
I
care
don't
about her
remember the
life.
baby.
She just wants her baby's name to be different.
I don't remember the baby's name specifically. Maybe she'll tell us.
Yeah. She doesn't order anything for her baby, which isn't surprising. Not like we have anything a baby could enjoy in the first place.
Oh, 1 second. My pizza delivery driver's calling me.
No worries. You're good, yeah.
Oh, wait. They stopped calling me. I'll look through the window real quick.
Hey. No, we can wait for a second.
Sorry.
Gives me another opportunity to eat some of my frozen yogurt. I was hoping it would have taro flavor like the frozen yogurt place in my hometown had. That was my favorite flavor. I would get it every time. Have you had taro ice cream before, Yuki?
Have you had taro ice cream? Hunt is asking if you've had taro ice cream.
Oh, I didn't know both of you went. Oh, my bad, my bad.
She went to get the pizza, and I held down the dog.
Nice.
And pizza was successfully acquired.
Yeah, what did you guys end up getting?
I've had taro flavored stuff. Like a pineapple, chicken, bacon, stuffed crust pizza, and then a pan pepperoni pizza.
Ooh, tasty.
It smells good. It smells kind of crazy.
But yeah, taro ice cream is super duper tasty. It's got a very unique flavor.
But yeah, I've never had taro ice cream. I've ice cream with taro bits in it.
I've had a lot of things in taro, but never ice cream. But that sounds delicious because I fucking love taro.
Oh yeah, it's very, very good. It has the same kind of like, how do you describe it? Like nutty flavor that taro has. In it?
I don't know. I nutty doesn't even sound right to me, but
yeah, I guess.
I said hawk. So
is it like starchy? Would you say?
Definitely starchy. Definitely starchy.
Yeah, starchy is probably a better word for it. Taro is I guess like it is. Was it? It was the root of the plant, so it kind of is like a
it's a tuber. It's a starchy tuber, but it is boiled and.
Yeah, it has to be cooked, or else it is actually poisonous. I believe it is not safe to eat raw. Pity. No, it's TV shooting back at Octo. Oh no.
Oh god, it's a fight.
Oh no, they both have guns. Stop it, you two, stop it. We don't want to hit anyone in the crossfire.
Violence begets violence.
We gotta stop the cycle.
You smell your violence begets violence. We don't want people to not meddle yet.
All right. We're putting back on my Keiko voice. Hey, mind if we have a little chat?
She's the only customer at the moment, so I accept her offer.
The truth is, I couldn't help but think how lovely your name was the moment I saw it on the card.
That came out of nowhere.
I've been meaning to tell you since we first met. I felt that your name didn't suit you once I saw you in the dream world. Just a scared little child. I was disappointed, in all honesty. Your name invokes a certain dignified image, and yet you are quite the opposite.
Is that an
What a
insult?
dunk.
A little bit. Kind of annoying to hear, but I can't really argue against it. I must have looked helpless in the dream world.
Anyway, you're completely different in person. The look in your eyes here is far more dignified than that of any other participant. Your words are filled with passion. You said yesterday that one's name almost represents their life. It reminded me of how my grandmother would always tell me not to be ashamed of my name.
Oh, I think it's my line.
Nope.
You said yesterday that one's name almost represents their life. Reminded me of how my grandmother would always tell me not to be ashamed of my name. Never expected her to remind me of that.
Sounds like a lovely grandmother. Do as she
Uh,
says. Treasure that name of yours.
Finishes off her coffee along with that train of thought.
Well, I have a request for you.
A request?
Yes, I'd like for you to take this letter. I ask that you transcribe it for me, even though that sounds like a pain. It's a letter I wrote to my husband and my child, but it'll disappear if I get eliminated tonight. I included the appropriate address and name inside, so just send it there. If I do get eliminated tonight, then it'll have been 3 weeks since I died come Monday, no? The birth certificate needs to be filled within 2 weeks after a baby's birth, so his name will likely have already been decided. Still, I'd like for them to understand my feelings on the matter.
You've always referring to Haruki by name for some reason, and that's the baby. I think she wants the baby to be called. I can't claim to understand why, but I do recognize the reality that he won't have that name when she's eliminated. Are you giving up? I mean,
I mean,
I mean, she probably. I'm like, I don't know why he wouldn't eliminate her tonight. So like, I don't think there's anything she can do.
oh no, I can protect myself if I manage to learn all 3 pieces of info about numeral 12. I've been working on that for a while now, even though the results are hardly uplifting. Maybe I've half given up, but I'll still spend the rest of today doing all I can.
Interesting.
Even so, I'm aware that it'll probably be a waste of time. And I don't want to hear a peep from you about helping me either.
I wasn't planning to. He'd realize that we're cooperating if he found us, which means I'd be targeted as well. Besides, I'd fail to carry out your request if I got eliminated.
That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Unfortunately, that means that Rinka now has to survive, or else the letter that she will
She's
copy and send will be destroyed
she's
as
carrying
well.
on her hopes.
True, true. She reveals a satisfied smile before continuing.
I'm not sure if this will make up for my actions, but I can tell you the one thing I did learn about him. His name is Alan Scorpion. He is a young business entrepreneur from India, having turned his parents' jewelry company into a global business just a few years after inheriting it. Finding that out wasn't too hard since I know his face. There's plenty of info about him on the internet, even. By coincidence, I happened to spot a photo of him while thumbing through a magazine, although I'm sure it was taken long before Divine Selection started. Alan Scorpion. Oh,
Alan Scorpion, so that's his name.
yes, that's all I can tell you, though, especially since my elimination is not yet set in stone. There's also the fact that while I'm making this request of you, I'm also betting on you.
There's no need to explain what she means. She's entrusted me with something important. I know exactly what it is too.
Alright, I should be going. I'm counting on you.
And just like that, she leaves. All that remains behind is her letter. I don't feel any sort of pressure from having accepted it. In fact, Filtering her feelings has given me more hope than when I spent my time worrying about having to eliminate the other participants. I understand that she wants what she wants precisely because we haven't spoken much. With dignity, I take a nice big stretch. I'm on my own from this day forward. Last thing I want to do is bring shame to my name. When I return to my room later that night, my book of cards starts to glow again. Numero 12. Name, Alan Scorpion. To no surprise, it turned out to be his name card. Gecko said that you can find him easily on the internet, so I run a quick search. Little did I expect this many results from a simple name search. It feels a bit too easy. So I think. Things get complicated very quickly. There's nothing on him from before he inherited the company at age 16, let alone anything related to how he may have died 3 weeks ago. No need to mention his regret remains a complete mystery too. But knowing his occupation, where he's from, and especially his name, is a big step forward. It may be worthwhile to head back to the library again, look through some newspaper and magazine. As for right now, I've got something more important to do, transcribing the letter from Kenko. Okay. Written on the paper are her thoughts and feelings towards her husband and child. She actually didn't write it herself, but as one of her friends. That means it'll be far less painful for her husband to read compared to one coming directly from her. Her writing is nice and tidy. Just reading it feels like I'm getting a glimpse at the sort of life she led. I involuntarily tear up when I come to her message of thanks to me at the very end of the letter. The regret of a mother who couldn't fulfill her duty. The letter never makes it explicit, but those feelings are definitely imbued in her words. I wonder, is a mother's love represented by her determination to live for her child's sake? That would make love the first thing a child receives. I'm sure their name comes after. And their name represents their life, so I'm sure Keko wanted to bestow such a meaning onto her child. Families work in myriad ways, but Keko really is attached to the feelings behind one's name. And that's why it ended up being her regret. I recall what she said about my name this afternoon. That's the one and only thing, other than my life, that I received from my mother, according to my gran. In which case, she also must have passed on her determination and love when I was born. I wonder if I'll ever be able to pour that same love into a person. I shake my head to clear my thoughts away before I dive too deeply into them. There's no point in wading through them when none of the answers are there. As for my regret, the same applies to this question. The reason I don't know my own regret is because I don't know myself well enough yet. I might be able to take pride in my own life once I learn my regret. But even if I don't make it through, no, scratch that. I know I want to make it through. Reading Keko's letter has helped me to finally find the resolve I need. I don't want to die without having fully understood myself. Should Keko be eliminated tonight, I'll mail this letter to the very next morning. That'll be my top priority. Once I make that decision, the day begins to wind down. There stands Alan, as emotionless as ever. It should go without saying, but this is the court of fate.
Good evening, my lovely little slaves to fate.
A voice rings throughout the court, clear as a bell. Parka arrives to greet the participants, her innocent smile and ongoing deception.
Tonight brings with it the third round of divine selection. Things have been proceeding rather smoothly thus far, but will that remain the case for much longer? Beating around the bush seems to be your forte. You sure you're not just trying to sound mysterious by spouting random nonsense? Sorry, it threw me off that her name was being put as girl too.
Yeah.
Oh, you certainly are brash. Whether or not that is the case is none of your business, I fear.
Alan stares at numero 2 as she talks with Parka. His gaze shifts between her and the girl beside her, numero 1. He deduces that they are acquaintances, having noticed them conversing during the first night. Numero 2 is proven to be far more wary than he imagined, with little to show from his information hunt on her. Meanwhile, numero 1 is willing to risk herself for the sake of another participant. Eliminating her should prove an easy task. He has no doubts about that, and yet he finds himself curious about her. She chose to stand in his way when we had Keko cornered. For reasons unknown even to him, the fire in her eyes back then was so...
Very well then. Allow us to begin tonight's election.
Alan's train of thought is interrupted by the goddess's announcement. Realizing that such thoughts are but a hindrance, he focuses instead on the matter at hand.
Revolve, O clock of fate.
The clock's movement signals the beginning of this night's election process, and starts with numero 1. The goddess claims that one's position in the Tao proves neither advantage nor disadvantage. Alan disagrees. Should two participants elect the same person, one can earn priority by revealing a card about oneself. However, the higher your numeral, the easier it is to prevent that situation from occurring. The only reason to take such a risk is when one knows that person they plan to elect is in possession of a card one needs. Hi Tara, hi. To that effect, as numeral 12, Alan feels he has a significant advantage.
That's probably you, Mel.
Was that? No, this was Koi.
No, it's the Koi voice.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, you want me to do it?
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, it's me. Okay.
I can do it if you want me to.
No, I got it.
Alan considers the idea that numeral 1 will opt to elect Keko. You just hopping in to say hi? Have an exam to work on? Okie dokie. Hope your exam goes good, Tara.
Hi, Tara.
Excuse me. Should she be in possession of all 3 of Keko's cards, she could create a situation where both she and Alan elect Keko. It would be a win-win situation for her, as it would result in either Keko's survival or one of his personal cards being revealed. That's why he has no intention of electing Keko should numeral 1 do so. The risk of being caught up in a simultaneous election far outweighs the benefit of getting one of the cards Keko possesses. He is well aware of his position within society, so he fully expects that Keko has already discovered his name. It is likely that she's revealed this information in numeral 1 as well. However, his name is the only thing she should have been able to find out about him. As such, should numeral 1 eliminate Keko, she will gain no new information about him. I have no one to elect. Numeral 1 passes on electing her. This comes as no surprise to Alan. In fact, the odds of this happening were far higher than the scenario he anticipated earlier. As the clock hand spins around, numeral 11, who has elected someone last time, passes as well. That woman happens to be the one he is most wary of. It is plain to see that she's a far cry from ordinary, not only due to that body of hers, but also because of her attitude. For instance, she blows him a kiss as the clock hand slows to a halt in front of him. Speaks volumes about her character.
I won't allow myself to be provoked.
Mutters under his own breath, preventing anyone from hearing him.
And you, good sir? I elect numeral 8.
States his intention with apathy. At the next moment, the platform he stands on rumbles and begins to ascend. Both his and Kekko's platforms rise to the upper stratum. The goddess appears before them there, her face contorted into a wry smile. Kekko's composure serves as a bit of surprise to Alan. It is hard to believe that she could be so composed after the despair she put on display when he obtained her name card. Much like Ro before her, he expected to hear some emotional wailing.
Do proceed.
This marks Alan's second time electing someone, so he's acquainted with the process. Once his cards have gathered in front of him, he has only to read out the relevant ones. But of all his current cards, those related to Ro have lost their glow.
Her name is Keiko Kamibuchi. She died of a brain hemorrhage.
Her cards react as he reads them aloud.
Her regret is...
Hey, you know what it's like to have a family, don't you?
Question interrupts his process.
Don't speak to me.
My son will live, so I'm not afraid of being eliminated. I didn't get to spend much time with him, but I was still able to become a mother. Maybe I won't be able to name him, but I'm sure he'll grow up to be strong even without that. After all, a name only represents one's hopes. It can't change their nature. I'm sure your parents named you too. At the very least, quit involving anyone else and everyone in your path of selfish destruction. Do it for your parents' sake.
You mean to imply that one can do something for the sake of those who have passed? Death is the end of one's existence. Nothing follows it. That's why those who live should do everything they can for their sake, and their sake alone.
Alan finds himself infuriated by Kekko's words. His face remains emotionless, but his eyes scream another story.
I have no issue resorting to any means necessary for my own sake and to protect what's important to me. I care not for what the consequences of my actions, nor for the people caught up in them. It's just that simple.
Tone is bitter. While his words have riled him up, he never allows his emotions to slip off his tongue. He feels that he's handled the situation in a controlled manner. However, Kekko offers him a smile before continuing.
You're pushing yourself, aren't you?
Your regret is your child's name.
He says this to cut her off. Next, the three cards whose contents he spoke aloud float away from him. Once they reach the middle of the Court of Fate, they come together and form a triangular shape. Once in formation, they begin to emit a white light, one by one. Alan knows what comes next, so he closes his eyes and allows it to happen. The event took place in an intensive care unit. A nurse carried a sleeping newborn over to its mother. Its voice, that of an angel. Its existence, the very concept of hope made flesh.
Haruki.
One couldn't say for certain whether or not her final words were heard at all.
Names do nothing but chain those to whom they're attached. There is no hope to be garnered from them.
That is the reason why Alan prefers to take the name cards from those he eliminates. He is fully aware that regret cards are the most difficult to obtain. Regardless, he believes with full sincerity that names chain their bearers down. That one can come to understand another by knowing their name. 1. Name. 3. Regret. 10. Cause of death. 12. Name.
So my name was known. However,
Sticking to his beliefs, he has already decided which card to take. Echo. Numeral 12 returned to the court. Having finished his election, he chose to take my name card. Of all the options he had, Alan Scorpion purposely took my name card. Keko likely had cause of death and regret cards as well, so he must have gone with me because he's already met me in person. I had the option of electing Keko too. Had he still tried, I could have created a situation where either Keko would survive, or he would have to reveal one of his personal cards. But I noticed an inherent flaw in the numerical system because of that. I can say for sure that he would never have elected her if I had done so.
Why did he go for your name?
It'll be fine. Miharu glares at him. I'd like to do the same if he'd gone for her name. But I'm not glaring. I pierce him with my eyes instead. Not only do I already know his name, but we've already met, and he also knows the area I live in. It was only a matter of time before he found out my name. To my own surprise, I'm not shaking. His presence is as imposing as ever, but I can now stare at him dead in the eyes without issue. It's my way of telling him, bring it on.
The resemblance, truly striking.
I don't bother to ask what he means by that. I can't say for sure whether or not he's shouldering a story of his own, but right now I have zero desire to exchange words with him.
Tonight's session resulted in one elimination. I bid you all farewell for now.
Shortly after, Parker brings an end to tonight's round. Third. I got an achievement.
Achievement huge.
Achievement unlocked. I wake up feeling refreshed. I must have gone to good night's sleep for the first time in a while. Keko has been eliminated, but I don't feel sad about it. Just empty. My eyes wander over to the table. My table. Both the letter I received from Keko and the one I had written are both there. However, when I get up and take a closer look at Keko's letter, its contents have vanished. Her actions during Divine Selection, as well as their effects, have been erased. Interesting. Interesting that I guess the paper itself still counts as immune, but just the writing on it was...
Yeah, I'm guessing it's like considered Rinka moved a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't write on it, so...
Yeah, that's probably it. I next check my transcription of her letter and confirm that it remains intact. This proves that those eliminated will be remembered by other participants, but their actions at large will be undone. However, not all traces of her actions have been erased. The letter she gave me still being here proves that much. Had I been eliminated, chances are that my letter wouldn't have disappeared either, just what I'd written on it. In other words, that goddess can't rewrite the world's events completely. That might explain why Naomi has a faint recollection of an event that is supposed to have been undone. Speaking of Naomi, I'm curious to learn how much she remembers about Keko. I can't bring myself to ask her though. I'd rather she remain as uninvolved as possible. Naomi. I end up shouting their names without thinking. I can't help myself considering the circumstances. I grit my teeth and rush to get ready for school. Oh. I come across Naomi right as I arrive at the school gate. It's a bit awkward seeing her now, after what happened last week. Oh yeah, that's another thing I forgot to bring up in the recap. Rinka basically told Naomi that she doesn't need her help anymore because she got hurt in the confrontation with number 12.
Alan Scorpion.
Regardless, I try to act as I usually would and say good morning to her.
Good morning. I'm going to start preparing for the culture festival today, so I have to come up with ideas for our signboard and decorations.
Oh no, did she not get her glasses fixed?
Of course, I also plan on teaching everyone how to brew coffee. I can't say I'm too confident, but I'll do my best to teach them as well as you taught me. Promise me that you'll visit our room during the festival.
Of course I will. I've noticed a remarkable difference she's made between Saturday and now. She seems to have changed her hairstyle as well. Did you?
It does look a little different.
Okay. Did you switch to contact lenses?
I did. Actually, I wanted to make the switch for a while now, so my glasses breaking gave me a great excuse to do so.
With that exchange, we both make our way into the building separately. I can tell she's tiptoeing around what happened last week. Something else is on my mind all throughout the day at school. Has Keiko's son been born following her elimination? That's why I make my way to the hospital, figuring that they will at least tell me that much. As it turns out, he has indeed been born, but at the same time, they informed me that Keiko passed away 3 weeks ago. With that knowledge gained, I take a seat in the lounge to collect myself. It's not easy to deal with learning that someone's died. Huh? When I sit down, a man wearing a suit and carrying a baby passes by. He must have just gone and examined. Excuse me? Turns out, it's Keiko's husband. I've never spoken to him before, but I summoned the courage to do so now. I don't want to keep him for too long, so the conversation only lasts
They
around
didn't want
5
to animate
minutes.
another person.
Yeah, probably they did. Yeah, we're not gonna get a sprite for this guy who's only gonna show up for like 5 minutes, I guess. His mother lives close by, he claims, though he's currently taking care of the baby. He left work early today, so it's in an examination though. It's interesting. I've been playing a visual novel called Muv-Love off stream, and that's like a really
Love.
yeah. Oh, do you know Muv-Love?
I know of it.
Yeah, I'm reading the first one right now. And that is a very old visual novel. That is like 2006, I think. And they actually have sprites for a lot of like the background characters and characters who like who show up for like a single scene. And I was actually a bit impressed by that. There are like situations where like there's a sports festival and it shows a sprite for like the goalie of the other team's lacrosse team for just that scene, and then from what I know, that character never appears again. But that person has like a unique design with like hair color, with like unique hair and eyes and everything for like just that scene. And I was like, oh damn, they put in a lot of effort into this. It's very very interesting, I guess. Comparing the two games, but I understand why it makes sense to not commission sprite work for all the characters, especially for some of these like I guess smaller team games. I don't know how big of a production this is, but that was just something interesting I was thinking about, that like this older game just had that kind of attention to detail.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's a lot of effort.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know what the budget of Muv-Love was. They might have had but I think there was only one person who did the designs for the characters, so that's crazy. Cause like even if I'm just like thinking about how many drawings it would be for, like even just like in terms of like how much it costs me to commission art, and then I'm thinking about like how much it would cost to get sprites of like say just like even like just like 5 characters and like a variety of different poses. it's clearly it gets up to like $1,000 very, very quickly, because like you also got to factor in like commercial fees and stuff like that. Because like if you're paying an artist to like make art for like a game or something, they, like, you know, they deserve a commercial fee or something like that, and they typically charge something like that. So his mother lives close by, he claims, so she's currently taking care of the baby. He left work early since he needed an examination, though. He said he wants to do as much for the baby as he can. I was worried, considering that Keiko had said that about her mother-in-law wanting to give the baby a more trendy name, but she actually sounds like a nice lady. The baby's name, however, really takes me by surprise. Kambuchi Haruki. Through some miracle, he's ended up with the given name that Keiko wanted him to leave. Keiko must have told her husband about the reason behind her naming choice while she was still alive. The K in Keiko represents a type of olive plant in China, as well as Japan's katsura trees. Her name is in reference to how pleasant smells are associated with sincerity. Not only that, but also because her parents wanted her to be as healthy and sturdy as a katsura tree. Having remembered that after Keiko's death, her husband told his mother that he wanted to decide the baby's name himself. He wanted to give the child a name linked to trees, like his mother, but couldn't think of anything appropriate. Because he wanted his son to be straightforward and earnest, he decided to use kanji for tree and then added haru at the beginning, since the child was born in spring, thus Haruki. That's pretty cute. Think back to what Keiko had written in her letter.
I never was as healthy and sturdy as they'd hoped, but the desire to be so remained in my heart until the very end. Names represent a parent's hope and dreams for their child, so please treasure the name you've been given.
I make my way back to Lion House once our conversation ends. I can't sit and twiddle my thumbs anymore. From here on out, I need to act with dignity. Oh, yeah. 3 days have now passed since Keiko's elimination. In terms of information, I'm at a bit of a standstill. I plan on doing more research on Alan, but finding the time has proven difficult, considering I can't just close the store. Time isn't the only issue either. There's also the fact that I just plain suck at doing proper research. I'm aware that I can't let things go on like this. Alright. I decided to close the store and head to the library for a bit today. I can look for business reports and interviews that involve him, maybe. I have to force myself to not consider how much easier it would be if Naomi were with me. And ask your friend Miharu. After closing up the store and we're going to the library, I come across an unexpected scenario. A lone girl is lying in the pavement. Looks like she passed out. A mysterious girl. What to do?
I think this has to be a character for me because one of my characters just died. It will return the characters to Koi and Soap when they're back.
Okay.
Also, you gotta talk to the mysterious girl.
Of course, yeah, we got it.
Unless you want this mysterious girl.
No, give it them out.
Excuse me? I tap on her shoulder and call out to her with concern in my voice.
Ugh.
Huh? She reacted to my voice, so I know she's conscious at least. At first I thought I'd have to call an ambulance, but it looks like there's no need. After a while, she turns to look at me. I feel myself turn pale as her face is revealed by the sunlight. I've seen her 3 times. Not just anywhere, but in the dream world at the court of fate. This is numeral 10. Why are you here? Don't tell me you know my name as well. If that's the case, this is bad. That would mean I spent too much time on things other than divine selection. I was so caught up in investigating Alan, I forgot that about all the other participants.
My name is Sophia Presenites Alevenia. Way too long, so call me Sonia.
She doesn't even stand up to introduce herself. Are you alright? Like, in the head? I told her almost out of instinct. But can you blame me? No participant should introduce themselves like that.
I have a request.
I say nothing, so she keeps on going.
I must ask that you please give me food, for I cannot move in any current state.
He asks for a meal in a very stilted manner of speaking. Based on the blonde hair and blue eyes, I assume she's from Russia or somewhere else in Northern Europe. She couldn't have been able to understand or speak Japanese without the aid of her card book either. However, unlike Alan, there's noticeable flaws in her language fluency. I don't even have my book in me right now, which must mean... Do you understand Japanese?
Yes, I love Japan lots. I'm sorry, but my hunger is almost at its limit. I will lose my ability to speak in approximately 5 seconds.
Whoa, hold on. She shuts her mouth after dropping that bombshell, as if her battery has run out of juice. Shutting down room. I do feel sorry for her, so I do end up taking her to a nearby family restaurant. There's plenty to eat at Lionhouse, but letting another participant in probably isn't the smartest course of action. Thus, I brought her here instead. I'm shocked to learn that she seemed to have told the truth about her name. I checked my book before leaving, and lo and behold, I attained a new card. She hasn't uttered a single word after her food-related shutdown, so I ordered her some spaghetti bolognese and some Salisbury steak. Those seem like safe bets for someone her age. When the food does arrive, Sonia's body shoots up, straight as an arrow.
Rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub.
I thought you were unable to speak. She ignores my reaction and proceeds to dig in. I figure she'll go hog wild, but nope. She takes the time to wrap the pasta around her fork. She even uses the knife and fork to cut the Salisbury steak. She even finishes off all the corn that comes with the side without issue. What's more, she eats all the pasta without splashing any sauce. Hard to believe that someone like her, who just collapsed from hunger, would be such a dainty eater.
Delicious. Japanese food is truly exquisite. Thank you for saving me from death by starvation.
I love the way that you're voicing her and Yan, like you're someone speaking in like you're trying to. It sounds like me trying to speak Spanish when I was in high school. Just like can I please have a drink of water?
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were told that we can't die outside of being eliminated. I wonder what would have happened if I ignored her. I wonder what the limits of that are. Like if like say like you accidentally drink like poison or something, do you just still receive the effects of
pain?
Of like like the pain, the nausea, or like even being like knocked out, but I guess then after a while your body, you just kind of wake up and you're fine, or I wonder what would have happened if I ignored her. No point in thinking about it, I guess. Chances are someone else would have done the same thing I did. The big city might be somewhat heartless, but I doubt people would be willing to ignore a child who has collapsed in the street. Now that you're revitalized, it's time... Excuse me. It's time to tell me all about you.
Call me Sonia. Also, I apologize for the blunt request, but...
Oh, looks like she can use some more difficult words after all. I brought my book along, but her bag looks like it could fit her, so right now we should both have them with us. Despite that, her stilted speech remains. She must really be speaking Japanese all on her own. If she were speaking Russian, the book would translate into fluent Japanese for me.
It seems that I happen to still be hungry. Could I mayhap order something else?
I'm about to say no and that she's had enough, but she unleashes the sad puppy dog eyes on me. Fine, but only something small, okay? I heave a sigh after checking my purse. I wish I knew why I'm being this kind to another participant.
Wow, there's so much here.
Able to contain her excitement at the menu options.
This is my first time coming to a family restaurant. There's so much that I don't know what to choose. From Western to Japanese to Chinese, they even have borscht. Now I think I am curious about Japan's take on my homeland's food.
Boarding sure gets weird sometimes, so I take it you're Russian?
I am. Technically, borscht is from Ukraine, but it is also a Russian cuisine staple.
How can you be this excited over a restaurant then? I'm fairly sure they exist in Russia as well.
I rarely got to leave the house, you see. Also, I've decided. I will have the Nagito Rodon, Okoyakidan, and Katsudan.
Not going for the borscht, huh? Hang on, are you sure about this? You're gonna get a ton of rice. Wait, no, I don't remember saying you could get 3 more entrees.
Am I not allowed?
Tilts her head and rubs her stomach. Just make sure you eat all of it. Sonia watches with starry eyes as I press the buzzer that summons one of the waitstaff. Guess she's never seen that either. I haven't. That's kind of interesting.
Might be a Japanese thing.
Can't help but sigh in disbelief at how big of a pushover I am while she happily eats her bowls of food. I really am an easy target, aren't I? It could be all part of her plan, too. She uses the fact that she's a kid to lure me into a false sense of security, takes advantage of it so I get all sorts of info out about me. Granted, I don't get that impression from her whatsoever, especially when she's the one who revealed her own information to me. I sigh again, this time in regard to how confusing the whole situation is. My head hurts.
Phew, now I'm stuffed. Thank you for the food.
She's cleaned out all 3 bowls without skipping a beat. You can use chopsticks too?
Yes, I love Japan, so studied lots about its culture and language. I am aware that Japan is the land of samurai and magical girls. It would be my pleasure to meet them someday. Incidentally, my young miss.
Okay, stop. You're definitely not calling me that. I can't tell you my name either, so how about sis?
Very well, sister. I have another request to make of you.
I decide not to bother pointing out that I told her to just use sis. I'm guessing your request is for some dessert. Fine, but promise we'll talk once you're done.
Yes, I promise. Oh, let me press the button though.
She ends up getting both a parfait and a cake for dessert. How can she fit all that into her tiny body? Watching her eat makes me want to get something for myself, so I order a small parfait.
Delish.
She gives me a thorough review of her dessert after obliterating it. I'm amazed she finishes both of hers before I do mine, even though I'm taking it slow. That should be enough, right? I make it obvious that it's time for her to talk. She may be a kid, but this is still a negotiation. I give her food in exchange for telling me what's going on, why she was collapsed outside Lion House, and why she revealed her name so readily.
Very well. My name is Sophia Presenets Elivina. Alexivina. Alexivina. Way too long. So call me Sonia.
Yeah, we did that part already.
Your reactions are fun, sister.
Are you messing with me?
But your voice is also scary.
What do you mean, also? What else about me is scary?
Your face. I thought you looked scary from the moment I first saw you.
She says with a bright and beaming smile. In all honesty, I'm aware I can look pretty scary at times, but being told that to my face kind of hurts. Right, that's enough of changing the subject.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to talk more because you're a kind person, but that was perhaps rude of me. Not to worry, though. The next participant to be eliminated will be me.
She keeps her smile, but something about her looks sad when she says that. It takes me a moment to process her words, despite the obvious meaning behind them. I'm not sure how the situation has come about. We're in the middle of the big city, so naturally the place is crowded. There are plenty of customers waiting to be seated. In other words, the staff kindly asked us to leave after a while. Even though we were in the middle of a conversation. Yeah, that's rude. I still haven't fully digested what she means either. That's why.
Wow, this is a very nice store.
I end up taking Sonia with me back to Lionhouse. It's the only place I can think of where we're able to sit down and talk. Sonia looks like a middle schooler student at best, so I doubt much harm can come from this. There's also the fact that the police might have stopped us somewhere. Hard to avoid suspicion when a girl in her school uniform is walking around with a foreign child at night. I forgot there was a cat. We have a cat, apparently.
Surely this is a Yuki voice, right?
Meow.
It's a kitty cat.
You really do know some random words. Didn't realize you were here, Leith. Lethe? Feels like I haven't seen Lethe in a while. Actually, yeah, she showed up once in the first stream and hasn't showed up since.
Yep.
I know it's fine, since it still made sure to eat the food I leave out for it.
Meow meow. Japan's cats are just as cute as I'd read about. Look, passagier, it's a cat.
Wow.
Passagier is in reference to Sonia's stuffed animal. It's one of those small plushies you find in toy stores. They fit nicely into your hand. This one's a bear, so it might be appropriate to call it a teddy bear. Sonia is poking and prodding Leith with it. Scratch me up if I try to do something the same considering its personality, but right now it's sitting back and taking it despite its obvious displeasure. I wonder if it realizes it's dealing with a child. Oh well, let me get some milk for you.
And some for me too.
Yeah, hold your horses. At least I can go about things at my leisure since we're in my house. I place Sonia's chair on the table and leave the bowl underneath. When she sits down, take the seat across from her. Leith wastes no time in diving into the milk once finally free of Sonia's grasp. I guess I really didn't enjoy that experience. Okay, it goes by it as neutral pronouns.
Let us continue where we left off.
She places both of her hands on the glass and takes a sip. I appreciate the detail they do for all these like restaurant scenes where like they actually put the food on the table, and I don't know if you guys noticed that on the when they were in the other restaurant, like the parfait glass was there. Too. Yeah. I appreciate the amount of detail they go into these scenes, because usually for like things like this, they would just be standing and talking, but. Yeah, I like it. You can tell she was raised to be a proper lady based on how she handles things like that. I thought the same thing back at the family restaurant. I nod as a means to urge her to continue. She almost seems like a different person compared to how she was messing around with Liv.
I meant what I said. You believe me, yes? That's why you brought me here. I will tell you all about me. But first, I would like to know, please, why did you believe me?
Let's see, there's not much for you to gain by saying that after revealing your name to me. Plus, it didn't seem like you were fishing for info on me. Not like I trusted her out of instinct. And certainly not because she's a kid. That's why I took a detour on our way back here. Could have been someone following us on the off chance that she is cooperating with the other participants. So I want to make sure of that at first. Sorry to say this, but I don't flat out trust you. Logic only dictates that you weren't lying. I only trust in myself.
Despite your appearance, you are a kind person.
You could have left that first part out. Did you Just as we were about to get into the thick of it, Leah moves and lies down underneath the table. I assume it feels satisfied after having its milk. Sonia watches it curl up with a smile on her face.
We had a cat at my house too. I was always too ill to leave, so it was one of my few friends. The others were books, the internet, and Pashazir. Yes, you see, my cause of death was illness. I can go into further detail if you wish.
That's alright, I'd rather hear more about you. Keep going. When on up to create a new card, I still opt in to listen to her life story instead. The fact that she's telling me this means she's fine with revealing her cause of death. She really is convinced that she'll be the next person eliminated. But why?
Much like you, divine selection has given me another brief chance to live my life. I told Papa and Mama about it, and they became convinced when they realized that I was feeling much better than usual. However, my condition will likely be the way it was before, even if I do survive these 12 weeks. I won't make it much longer either way.
You don't think surviving would also be would cure you of your condition?
Yes, that is what I believe. That's why I don't mind losing. So long as I can experience as much of the outside world during the time that I can, I'm happy. From what I learned about the world at home, Japan caught my interest the most. That's why I wanted to experience its culture, not the ninja and samurai, but Japan as it is now. I was rather excited when I obtained my card book. Japan's anime holds a special place in my heart, and in one magical girl anime, the girl transformed and fought using a book and cards similar to these. Card captor, oh my god.
I was like, oh, that sounds familiar, but I never really watched
Card captor soccer, oh my god.
my
Not being able to experience the outside world is my regret. That's why I want to do so now.
The words trigger my own book lighting up, creating a new card. Sonia smiles when she sees that happen, but unlike her smile in the family restaurant, there's an echo of sadness within it. There's something I was thinking about actually, like what happens if you were someone who had like an illness and you were part of divine selection, like would that illness go away or would you just be stuck with it after that?
Seems like they don't think it will go away.
Yeah,
You just learned who you were before.
that's a shame. Childlike innocence clashes heavily with her mature realization that she's just one step closer to being eliminated.
After observing the situation for a while, we finally decided to take a family trip to Japan together. Papa and Mama may forget about our trip once I'm eliminated, but at the very least, I wanted to make the most of our remaining time.
You're alone right now, so I assume something happened with them?
Yes, that's right. While we were observing the situation, those with my name card were also watching us. They had set a trap for us the moment we landed by means of our taxi.
Crap.
Yes, they posed as taxi drivers and threatened to kill Mama and Papa if I didn't tell them all my information.
Oh no. The worst possible situation springs to mind when I hear that. Sounds exactly like something Alan Scorpion would do. Was numeral 12 involved by chance?
No.
Her denial only serves to worry me more. All of it means is that there are some others willing to resort to the same methods as him.
It was numeral 3 and numeral 11. Those two are working together.
Oh, those two.
Have you met them before?
I shake my head in response. Normal 3. Federico Carminati. I end up with his name card during the initial distribution. Having seen him in the dream world multiple times, I know he's tall and slender. As for numeral 11, she's the one responsible for eliminating number 7. Much like Alan, her eyes are as frigid as they come. Those two working together definitely comes as a surprise. I figured I would have the advantage against numeral 3 because I have his name card, but if he's with her, that's no longer the case. Feeling that I interrupted her, I apologize and wait for her to pick up where she left off.
I told them everything to save Papa and Mama, but the man said it wasn't enough. He wanted to know about the other cards I held too. I happen to have one of numeral 11's cards, her regret card. So I looked her in the eye and said that I could tell him, but it would lead to bad results for them. I expected her to get angry, but she just laughed.
I think this is your line, Yuki, because I think it's referencing maybe the, what's number 11 saying?
Trying to remember her voice. Damn, she's got more guts than that old geezer despite her age. What am I talking? That's what I'm talking about. That was fucking what's his face's voice. Oh well. Can't believe Sonia threatened me. You know, jeez, if she wants to see the world, maybe I'll let her after showing that kind of bravado. Say what you will, but I like this kid.
Number 11 was apparently full of cheer as she praised Sonia for her rebellious act. She had a condition, though. Sonia wasn't allowed to be with her parents until her last day, as a means to prevent them from trying anything. So as long as she did that, they were willing to both spare her parents and let her do as she pleased. Oh, come on. She just wanted to prevent you from using her face and regret as a means to get more information on her. Sorry for shouting out of nowhere.
While your voice may sound scary, I know that your words are kind. Not many would get angry for the sake of someone they need to eliminate. Well, as long as Papa and Mama are safe, I'm okay. Besides, like I said, I wouldn't live for long regardless. Have you acknowledged your own death? Oh,
Have you acknowledged your own death then?
what do you mean acknowledged?
Do you feel that's going to happen no matter what?
Yes, I have even before divine selection began. I knew I would die as soon as I found out about my condition.
That might explain the sadness in her smile earlier. I'm not sure whether the doctors or her parents told her, but she's likely been informed of how long she has to live multiple times. Just by looking at her, I can tell that she's been raised with love. However, her inevitable death has probably been looming over her head ever since she found out. Just because she knows and accepted her death doesn't mean that she isn't scared to face it, of course. It must have been tough for you. Pat her head. I should have learned with Keko that getting attached to other participants is dangerous, and yet I can't stop myself. Sonia likely gave up on her life and chose to act like she's fine for the sake of her parents and those around her. I refuse to believe that she's truly accepted it, though. Her expression right now proves it to me.
I knew what was in store for me for a long time, so I told myself that things weren't tough. But now, I'm not so sure.
I don't have the means to provide her with true salvation. I do feel for her, though. No one should have to go through what she has at such a young age, and I can't give up my own life in exchange. I can't forget that I just met her today, too. We're not even friends. And yet, for some reason, I'm racking my brain for her sake. This entire time, she's been wearing a peculiar expression on her face. She likely doesn't truly understand her feelings yet. Not that I can blame her. I'm in the same boat. Leith has disappeared at some point during our chat. The light reflects off its empty milk bowl, casting a strong shadow. I spend the rest of the time just patting Sonia's head.
Good morning.
Wow.
It is time to wakey wakey.
I struggle to muffle my own voice to hear someone else shouting into my ear. The voice belonged to none other than Sonia. She revealed last night that she had no lodging plans, so I agreed to let her stay here to avoid her having to roam the streets.
I was surprised you let me stay, though. I was of the impression that I could stay at one of those so called manga cafes with ease.
Sounds like you've been browsing the internet too much, young lady. Besides, those aren't exactly hotels in the first place. She tilts her head inquisitively in response to my surprise. I know a lot of people do stay overnight at them, but I can't see anyone getting a good night's sleep on a chair. Yeah. I think I watched a documentary about like manga cafes a while back, and they do not look comfortable at all.
I'm like not familiar with them at all, actually.
There are manga cafes, and where you just rent basically like a little booth with a chair, a desk, and sometimes a computer comes with it as well, and you can rent them for a long time for super duper cheap. So some people will use them basically like hotels, pretty much. Like people who have nowhere to go or runaways or whatever will just kind of rent rooms forever in them, and they're incredibly cheap. But as you would imagine, sleeping on a chair kind of sucks, and it's really really crappy. A lot of them too. Yeah, that, and I doubt they let a kid in there so late at night.
Are you okay with your decision, though?
She tilts her head in the opposite direction, this time with wide and hopeful eyes. She's referring to a promise I made with her last night. I promised to give her a tour of Japan, even if it's a brief one. She may be able to speak Japanese, but this is still a whole new culture for her. And it'll be a lot more fun with two people, won't it?
Sister, I'm glad I came across someone as kind as you. That alone makes coming to Japan worth it.
Leave that for after you meet some good memories. Don't forget that we're staying within Tokyo. There's good meaning behind doing this during Divine Selection. As long as they survive, her memories and experiences here in Japan won't disappear. Oh, and don't forget that I gotta go to school, so we need to meet at Shinjuku Station in the evening.
Understood.
She smiles and raises an arm in the air as part of her enthusiastic reply. If only I had realized that then when brain read word speak. If only I had realized then what she would have kept hidden beyond that smile. Oh.
Good morning, Rinka.
Morini.
Morning.
Yo, did you notice that I turned morning Rennie into one word?
Coming to school has helped me to settle down lately. Being reminded that I still got a regular life despite everything does wonders for one's mental state.
Oh, you're gonna ignore it?
What kind of reaction were you expecting out of me?
Well, good night, my friends.
It's always a touch relieving to see Mo act how she always does.
Mal lets the comment fly over her head and sprawls out over her desk instead. I bet she's pulled another all-nighter. If that's the case, good luck waking her up before lunchtime. It's impossible for me not to smile at that freedom of hers. No matter what happens, I'll always have this place. Yeah.
Screwed lunch. I'm still tired. So back to sleep I go.
Well then, we may as well go up to the rooftop.
Yeah. What have you been up to that makes you this tired, though?
Stayed up watching a drama because they were airing the whole thing at once online. By the time it was over, there was the sun.
Wait, so you didn't get any sleep at all?
That's why I'm sleeping now.
Yep, she's out of the game. Haru seemed to be thinking the same thing.
When was the last time the two of us managed to get time alone like this?
We make our way up to the rooftop after buying lunch. Maharu is eating light as usual. Oh, okay. Fit the food. I thought the light. She was like absorbing the light around her or something, like a black hole.
Yeah, she's eating light.
Suddenly, Maharu turned to a black hole. Today really is one of those perfect days for sitting up here. And yet, the fact that we're the only ones doing it proves that we really are avoided by others. To be honest, I feel like that's more of a blessing than a curse these days.
I have to admit, I'm happy that we can still spend time together like this, even while the divine selection is happening.
She accompanies her comment with that usual charming smile of hers. As for me, I got another choice here. Let's see here. I guess, do we want to say we're happy too? I guess probably saying that we're saying we're happy gives us more Maharu points.
Yeah, I don't imagine that saying you're not happy is gonna get much. Is gonna accomplish much.
Yeah, I thought. I don't.
Just no. Actually, I'm not very happy hanging out with you. I hate you actually.
Yeah, actually, I hate hanging out with you. Even though we were friends before Divine Selection, it's a little awkward that you want to have some one-on-one time with me before we potentially die. No, I'm gonna say I'm happy too. I'm happy about it too.
Okay.
Probably going through some tough times thanks to the whole situation as well. So, just being able to sit here and forget about it for a while really is nice.
I really meant what I said. I know that I'll do everything I can for the sake of your smart.
Let's not get into that for the time being. Haru's expression as she declared her intention to give her life, her mind flashes across my mind all of a sudden. I've gone over a lot of things lately, but that's not one of them.
Oh, sorry. Well, do you mind if I ask you something?
She changes the topic before preparing to bite into her sandwich.
You haven't been meeting with Naomi recently, have you?
It's a pretty standard question, but her face looks deadly serious. She's gotten really good at brewing coffee now, so there's no need for me to keep coaching her. Besides, she's busy with cultural festival preparations.
Something happened between you two, right?
I haven't told Maharu that Naomi was helping me out. That would put unnecessary pressure on them both. And that's why I have no idea how to answer her question. Maharu persists despite my hesitation, though.
There's a stark difference between asking another participant like me for help as opposed to someone uninvolved like her. You realized how dangerous things could get, and then you decided to put some distance between you two, correct? It was the right call. Don't ask how I know about this, though. I just need you to understand that I'm not as dense as you when it comes to how people interact with one another. Naomi's attitude has been very different than usual, starting with last week. You could say she looked like she had a true purpose motivating her.
I guess I shouldn't have tried to hide it from you.
Don't worry about that. I'm aware that you did it with me and Mao in mind.
Thanks, Maharu. But you're right. I made sure that she won't help me out anymore. I'll handle the rest on my own.
If only you'd ask me for help, but no. Wait.
Maharu casts her eyes over to the entrance and then speaks to me in a whisper.
We're being watched. I heard a noise coming from over there just now.
Sure it's not another student?
That wouldn't be an issue, but what if it's not?
Implication is clear. We can't discount the possibility of another participant having made their way into the school to keep an eye on us.
I'll open the door.
No, let's open it together. Best off in the worst case scenario that way. She nods and we make our way to the door under the pretense that we're heading back to class. We don't hear any footsteps, so it's likely they are still there. As it turns out, our guess is right on the money. Sonia, how'd you get here?
Sister, my stomach has reached its limit yet again.
Mind explaining this?
Nara directs her question at me. Well, this'll take a while to explain. This is one of the rare times where I can't help but clasp my hands on top of my head in a panic.
Sorry, Rinka, but even I had to point out how dumb this situation is.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Wowee, so this is a maid cafe. I've heard so much about them.
Sonia wanders around the store, taking in every aspect of it. I suppose this is the kind of place you'd find in Russia. In an ideal world, I wouldn't have come here. Not to say that maid cafes are bad in general, but I really don't like standing out amongst the predominantly male customer base. Plenty of anime and manga are set in schools, so that seemed to have led Sonia to take an interest in what they're really like. Seemed like she had to enroll in a correspondence school due to her condition, which meant she never actually had the chance to go to a physical school. As such, going to one was part of being able to see the world at large in her eyes. That's why she snuck into Amika High to watch what I was doing. I figured she would have been caught doing so, but she gave me this excuse.
I trained myself in the art of the ninja, so I had no issues.
She made some wacky hand gestures at the same time. Apparently they're from an anime that had aired while I was in elementary school.
Your kindness is something I should be proud of you as a friend. But
you're gonna do more damage than you think if you finish that sentence. Mahara was obviously baffled, so I could only give her a timid response. Lunch break ended not long after we discovered Sonia, so we had to get her to lay low somewhere until school was over. On our way back, I explained that I let her stay at my place. Once Mahara mentioned that she had to go to work, the topic shifted to what Mahara's job entailed. Sonia's odd impressions about certain parts of Japan have led her to believe that maid cafes represent the country just as much as places like Kiyomizu Temple, so she's pretty much forced us to take her.
You don't regret your decision, do you?
I don't.
In that case, I can still say I'm proud of you.
Hi, Elliot. Hi. Sonia makes her way back to our table just as we wrap up our conversation. There are a number of ornaments and notes littering the store, so it's not uncommon for customers to leave their seats. However, it is odd for a girl her age to be wandering around a store like this, and that's why all eyes are on us when she returns.
Maids are normally in charge of household chores, correct? Why did you become one when you're only in high school?
I'm only working here part-time. Also, you won't find the kind of maze you're imagining here in Japan.
Come on, no need to crush your dreams.
Oh ho, I see. And here I was thinking you were secretly magical girl Miru.
More importantly, how do you know my name? Oh, you must have overheard Rinka using it.
What is this so-called special pancake?
Yuck, they got those here? Basically, the maid draws something on it and recite the spell to make it taste delicious.
A spell. How interesting. I'll have one then.
The entire store gasped in horror upon hearing her request.
Hold on. Rinka, that menu option doesn't quite fit with my character here, so ideally I'd be able to refuse her request.
Not that I blame you.
Right. Let me say that those pancakes aren't particularly good in the first place. Certainly not worth the 5,000 yen price tag. I assume you know why they're so expensive.
$50 pancakes, what the?
Why are they so expensive? What's the implication here? It's like not the food's not what you're paying for, it's the service.
Yeah, you're basically paying a premium to be in the maid cafe, I guess.
Moreover, this particular menu exists solely to squeeze more money out of single customers. I'd rather not have you enable the manager's wicked business tactics.
So I don't get any?
Unfortunately not, unless you're willing to ask someone other than me.
Just then, the manager calls Miharu over. I guess he's noticed a little conversation. Oh no. Her expression upon returning is an awkward mix of anger and despair. Oh no. She places a tray with a pancake on our table and then doodles something on it using a chocolate pen. A stuffed animal shaped to look similar to the one that Sonia carries.
Amazing. Look, Pashir, it's you. Are you going to cast a spell on it for me next?
I need to do this in front of Rinka. Sorry, but I'm gonna curse you for the rest of my life now.
Haru shoots Sonia the most evil glare I've ever seen from her. That's not the kind of expression you'd normally show to a child. She then turns to me, looking more serious than I've ever seen her.
You listening, Rinka? What I'm about to do is only part of this job, okay? That's why I need you to forget all about it once you leave.
She looks ever so tense. That causes all sorts of scenarios to run through my head, which leads me to feel embarrassed on her behalf before she even does it. She inhales sharply and lifts her index finger into the air.
Nummy nummy pancake for your tummy!
She sends her index fingers in the air a few times before creating the shape of a heart by cupping both hands together, which she then thrusts out towards the pancake.
I have finally borne witness to one of Japan's magical girls at work.
Sonia is likely oblivious to the emotions Haru is keeping tucked away behind that smile. Instead, she is tickled pink that she's gone to witness something so rare. Meanwhile, Miharu hasn't moved an inch after striking that pose. She does all in her power to not make eye contact with me. That was really cute.
I'll never live this down.
Miharu. I couldn't bring myself to look her in the eyes when I muttered that either. So Miharu covers her face in shame and runs off to the back room.
Why is your face all red?
I feel guilty. I should have tried harder to stop her. When Sonia has finished her meal, I make sure to get our bill right away. Speaking of the bill, Sonia is using the credit card she has on her. It's the only reason I let her order in the first place. Yeah, better than $50 pancakes. Jesus. As we were about to leave, Miharu returned from the back room. She's back in her school uniform. It would seem she's managed to get off early for the day, although I make sure not to ask how or why.
I want to look around Akihabara.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. I'm not too familiar with Akihabara though.
Then I'll join you. You're okay with that, aren't you, Rinka?
Maharu comes here often, so we'd be better off having her guide us.
Besides, it's not like I trust you yet. I'd rather not leave the two of you alone.
I can't call Maharu out, not even for her harsh tone. Oh, I trust Sonia. I'm still aware of the risk involved in being with her like this.
Are you taking us then? There's lots and lots I want to see.
Sonia shows little care for our concerns in that regard.
She really is brimming with innocence, isn't she?
Having decided on what to do next, we finally leave the maid cafe. Shinjuku Station is actually. We haven't had a break yet. Do we want to have a little break?
Sure.
Alright, everybody. I'm gonna do a little BRB here real quick. Anyone needs to go stretch or get some food or drink some water or go to the bathroom, feel free to do it now. I am going to run some ads here so they don't pop up later on, and we will be back in a second. A tool. We'll be right back then. I'm back.
She is killing a terrifying monster for me.
Oh no. You're a bug?
Yeah, it's a cockroach.
Uh-oh.
My worst enemy.
I've actually never encountered a cockroach IRL before.
How?
I don't know. I've encountered like house centipedes and like carpet beetles and all other sorts of like, house insects and spiders and all that, but I've never encountered a cockroach. I have no idea how.
That's insane.
Yeah,
That's very lucky.
I guess so. Are like cockroaches? I mean, obviously cockroaches are bad, but like.
I mean, I don't know if they're actually worse than many other things. They just particularly disturb me.
Do you not like insects in general, Yuki, or just cockroaches specifically?
Just cockroaches and anything related to them.
Okay.
Beetles. I don't really like many. I don't like most beetles that are like house pest ones. They bother me a lot.
What about house centipedes? Do those spook you?
I mean, that probably goes in the same category as spiders, or same category as spiders get for me, which is I don't want it to touch me, but as long as it doesn't touch me, like, no, it's fine. Like I probably want to show it outside, but then again, a house centipede probably wants to be in the house. So
that's how I think of them as well. I'm the same way with like spiders and anything else in that category, where just like if a spider has a web and it's far away from me, I will just like leave it be. Or if I see like a house centipede or something, I will usually just leave it as long as it doesn't get on me, because house centipedes are actually very, very helpful bugs to have around the house. They'll kill like other little bugs and pests and stuff that go up around the house. Beetles are also the same. They're little beetles who have like black and gray spots on them, and they just eat like dust and like skin and stuff. So they aren't like bad for the house. They will just eat stuff on the ground. I like to leave them alone. But yeah, as long as insects don't. Typically, my stance on insects is as long as they don't touch me, they're good. If they touch me, then bets are
it's
off.
not going to die, and then I start screaming.
Yep. Nah, I don't mind insects.
I was really wondering what they were going to do to make me do the maid chant, because like I don't think any other countries really have anything like that with the fucking maid chants they didn't make it.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, what if I was immediately thinking, oh no, what embarrassing thing is Yuki gonna have to say? I feel like you always have bad luck when it comes to having to say embarrassing things to characters, because I remember in Otome Domain you had the words me speak.
I'm back. Word.
Welcome back, Nyan. I was just talking about that Yuki has always had been unlucky with having to say embarrassing stuff. Yuki's character in Otome Domain had said a bunch of like embarrassing things as well.
Oh yeah, fucking Demon General Zarathustra.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel bad for you, Yuki, because you always get the embarrassing lines.
I think Hinata's stuff was a lot worse than just doing a maid chant though.
Yeah. At least this was like just a one and done thing, hopefully. But that was like her stuff was like throughout the whole thing. Like she always talked like a Chunibyo. That's the word I was looking for earlier that I couldn't think of. She always would say Chuni stuff all the time. You kill the cockroach, Nyan?
I think so.
Thank you, my hero.
Yeah, and save the day, everybody.
2 days in a row is not my, I don't know, not great, but yeah.
Can you set like bug traps for cockroaches like you can with ants?
You can. And poison. But they usually come in from the outdoors, so...
Ah, that's fair. Yeah, it's still a little cold sometimes. It's 34 degrees right now in Delaware, so they're probably just trying to find somewhere warm or something. But yeah.
Get out!
Get out! Ready to get back to it? I shall resume the reading. Shinjuku Station is packed due to everyone making their way home from work. The three of us take the Sobu line from Akihabara back to Shinjuku, and then get off so we can make our respective transfers.
I didn't think we'd spend that much time there.
It was great.
Ha ha ha. By the time we finish touring Akihabara, I am beat. I usually ever get off there and make a quick transfer, so I honestly had no idea what it'd be like. I noticed tons of anime and electronic stores as we walked around. So I kept stopping in front of and going into the stores that caught her interest, so it's safe to say that she pretty much dragged us wherever she wanted.
Your knowledge of Japan's wonderful anime is lacking, sister. What a waste.
I used to watch a fair bit when I was younger, but I didn't realize just how much there is. Or manga, I know a bit more, but not as much as you two.
You should learn from Miharu.
I make sure to keep up to date thanks to my job. It's easier to please the customers when you can talk about these things with them.
When I think about it, I've barely watched any anime at all recently. I've kept myself busy by helping out with the store, and my time's had up in even more now that I'm in charge of it.
You read a fair amount of shoujo manga, don't you?
Oops, forgot to take the BRB off. There we go. Yeah, I've borrowed a decent amount from Mao.
You may look scary, but deep down, you still like girly things.
It's one of the best things about her.
Hey, shouldn't you be denying that I look scary? As we make our way back to the subway entrance, Miharu follows alongside us. Which is odd of her, considering she should have gone the opposite direction at Akihabara to get home. When I decide to ask her why she's tagging along, she answers with a smile.
It's simple. I'll be staying over at your place tonight as well.
Hmm.
Leaving you and Sophia alone is a bit dangerous after all.
Huh? Tomorrow's a weekday, you know.
I can make my way back home early in the morning. That is, after I make sure Sophia doesn't take you out while you're sleeping.
Hey now, no need to say it like that.
Take her out? Do we need to go somewhere else?
Maybe you're a bit too young to understand the meaning behind it, but as I said before, I still don't trust you.
Aww.
She looks at her first, but then flips right back to her bright expression.
I did get to visit a lot of fun places thanks to that.
You're taking her somewhere else tomorrow, right? In that case, I'll join. Actually, I'll be staying overnight again, too. What'd you say, Yuki?
That's me. You're taking her somewhere else tomorrow, right?
Oh, sorry.
In that case, I'll join. Naturally, I'll be staying overnight again too, but don't worry. I'll do what I can to not sour the experience for her. All right?
I'm with it, but what about your mom? She hesitates before nodding her head and telling me I'll be fine. With that sorted out, we discuss where to go tomorrow as we make our way back. Miharu never appeared openly hostile towards Sonia today, But you could tell things were a bit awkward.
That Salisbury steak was delicious, Miharu.
Sonia feels the need to praise Maharu for her cooking after we head up to my room after dinner. Maharu was the one who proposed to make it on our way home, in all honesty. It really was. I heard you were a good cook, but that was somehow even better than expected.
It's not hard to improve when you cook on a daily basis.
True?
And it was a good opportunity to let you taste my cooking for the first time. Now I can look forward to trying yours.
Sure, but don't set your expectations too high. It's funny, but I cook every day too. Granted, most of the time I buy a number of small meals and mix them together. I usually stick to simple things, so that's probably why I've never seemed to get any better. As for the food in the Lionhouse menu, I can only make that thanks to my grand's recipes. Next, we take our respective turns in the bath, then spend the rest of the night watching TV and chatting away. Well, that's nice to get to just hang out for a little bit, I guess. Do something normal. What time is it? I can tell by it's not morning yet, but for some reason I've woken up. Huh? Something isn't right. And I realize what it is immediately. Either Miharu or Sonia are anywhere in sight. I figure something's up, and then I hear voices coming from downstairs. Fearing the worst, I make my way to the stairs. I stop halfway down, though. I'm not sure what they're talking about, but Miharu sounds rather serious. She obviously doesn't want me hearing and knowing what they're talking about if she took Sonia downstairs with her. I realize that listening in on other people's conversations isn't admirable, and yet I can't bring myself to go back to my room.
Don't you?
Yes.
I hear them clearly once Miharu seems to change the subject.
As I thought, something isn't quite right.
How so?
You called me by name before Rinka ever said it in front of you. That means you already knew it. I asked this already knowing the answer, but you have my name card, don't you?
I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
Because I never told you about having it.
You're really throwing me for a loop.
Miharu sighs and massages her brow with her fingers.
Fine, whatever, but just remember this. My name is Mishima Miharu.
Yes, I won't deny that.
You're an interesting kid, you know that?
Miharu's name card. I know her full name, and yet somehow I don't have it. That can only mean that her real name is something other than what I know her as. Well, it's not too surprising when you consider her circumstances at home. That's also why I've never asked her about it.
I know you're up there, Rinko.
Ah,
Sister!
I cover my mouth by reflex when Miharu calls my name, despite knowing that it will make a slapping sound.
Do you honestly think that I, of all people, wouldn't notice the sound of your breathing?
Sorry.
No,
She knows the sound of her breathing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I read past that for a second, and then I reread that line back in my head. I'm like, huh? Eee.
No shortage of apologies for me today, huh? I'm not sure how much you heard, but either way, do me a favor and forget about it. And Sophia, sorry for waking you up in the middle of the night. You need as much sleep as you can get, so let's go back upstairs.
Yeah, okay. I want to discuss things with Miharu now that the cat's out of the bag, but we decided it's best to go back to my room after watching Sonia let out a big yawn. Basically, I don't get to find out anything regarding Miharu's name card. I wonder if Miharu's gonna become a yandere later. I don't know. I'm getting some yandere vibes from Miharu now. Like the yandere score is going up. Like
I think she'll go to great lengths for Rinka, but I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. We shall see.
She'll do anything for Rinka. Anything.
School ends up flying by somehow. Once classes are over, the three of us met up at the gate. We couldn't have Sonia infiltrate the school again, so we got her to wander around the university campus instead. Not only is it open to everyone, but there's a library there as well. I'm sure she surprised a few students there, but oh well. However, once we meet up, I realized getting her to do that was a mistake.
The university here seems like fun.
Sonia. Her words pierce my heart. I'll never have the opportunity to attend a university, regardless of Divine Selection's outcome. Even if she were to win somehow, it wouldn't cure her condition. Whether or not she really would die soon after is unknown. But at the very least, she's convinced herself that it's certain.
Don't beat yourself up, Rinka. Right?
Right. I'm happy that I got to see something new.
Okay, we should get going. There's lots for us to see today.
I can't wait to see anything and everything.
Things seem fine between the two of them. I guess they put whatever happened last night behind them. Like Miharu said, we've got plenty to see today. We make our way towards the station. It's hard to sum up all the places we've visited. First with Tokyo Skytree, after that Sensoji Temple. We made sure to avoid the busy areas, but we still got a good look at Kaminarimon? Kaminarimon. There we go. I think that sounds right. We saw Roppongi Hills from a distance as well. Before that, we paid a visit to Jimbotro, since it served as the setting for an old anime. Walking from place to place would have been a bit much, so we used a taxi instead. Sonia's parents must be rich, since she paid for everything with her credit card, just like she did at the maid cafe. That helped a lot, especially because we went to Odaiba. After getting on the Ferris wheel and seeing the Fuji television building, we had to turn around to reach our final stop. He said last stop is Zojoji Temple?
Zojoji, probably.
Said to be a time-honored temple with ties to the Tokugawa family from the Edo period. That said, and something about Pure Land Buddhism. Based on what we're seeing here, a lot of bands and artists use the open area for concerts. The area's name and those of its surrounding stations are based on the name of the huge gate at the entrance to the temple, so it goes without saying of how impressive it all is. It's only 30 or so minutes from the station, and yet I had no idea this place even existed. I'm exhausted.
I figured we'd be fine since we're on our feet most of the time when we're working, but this really has been taxing.
Meanwhile, Sonia walks ahead of us as we complain about our aching feet.
Wow.
We blurt out an exclamation of wonder as she points to Tokyo Tower, visible off in the distance. You can see it clearly past the temple. Huge red frames decorated with all sorts of colored lighting. Obviously, I've seen it before, but seeing it this close in a night is a completely different experience. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Tokyo is such a nice place.
All three of us are entranced by the sight of Tokyo Tower glimmering in the night for a good while. It brings back memory of the parade and the light show I saw together with Miharu at the theme park. Divine Selection wasn't even on my mind back then. Never would I have imagined that it'd wind up in a situation like this. That I'd wind up in a situation like this. I wonder if Sonia's reflecting on her life right now. There's a hint of sorrow on her face as she looks up at Tokyo Tower.
I'm happy I had the opportunity to see something this lovely. I'm so happy that it's making me feel worried.
Her eyes water and reflect the light coming from the tower. Her, blah, blah, blah. She raises her gaze higher than the night sky, but it does little to keep the tears from running down her cheek.
This has to be the happiest moment of my life. My first time experiencing the world. And it's also the last.
The floodgates damming her tears have broken. I understand that feeling all too well. She can't keep up the facade any longer. Her bright smile has been snuffed out by this outburst. Why did I say facade? It's facade, right?
It's facade.
Yeah. Why did I say facade? Ugh.
It's all over. Today is my last. Wow.
Feel my own eyes start to water, but I do everything in my power to hold it in. I move to hug her, but Maharu notices and shakes her head at me.
Don't let yourself get too attached.
Says this quietly enough so that only I hear her. I can't stop myself, though. If crying together with her isn't an option, then I want to know that I'm here for her at the very least. There's no doubt she'll crumble in front of reality otherwise. Sonia.
Wow. Sister, Mama, Papa. I told myself that I accepted my situation, but it's not true. Now I know that the world is full of beautiful things like this. But my time here is running out. Why?
Time slows to a crawl while Sonia lets all her emotions out. The light from the tower reflects off her tears, causing them to shine like precious jewels.
Rinka.
Haru starts to say something, but stops herself. Once Sonia finally settles down, we make our way back to Lion House. It's 9 p.m. by the time we get back. Going out to buy stuff for dinner, not to mention making it, would have taken even longer, so we end up ordering some pizza. Needless to say, the three of us will wolf it down immediately. Pizza.
Delicious. Japan's food truly is the best.
Come on, I know for a fact that you could get pizza delivered in Russia as well.
I always had to watch what I ate before this. That's why I'm happy that I can eat whatever I want now.
Tone may be cheery, but there's a certain weight hidden behind each and every word. Miharu manages to keep things from becoming awkward, though.
I'm a bit upset you didn't cook, to be honest.
You have to be mindful of the time. Besides, I don't think I've had pizza delivered since I was a kid.
Well, I can't imagine you'd have much opportunity to do so while living with your grandmother.
Yeah, she was never big on getting stuff delivered in the first place, except some soba now and then. She's not against pizza herself, considering she'd make it here every so often. In fact, she'd eat pretty much anything. The point where she'd always go on and on about how not being fussy about food is the secret behind her being so healthy. She really is healthy for her age too. She really enjoys bragging about still having all her teeth intact.
I see you take after her in that regard.
Yeah, I must.
Your grandmother must be a wonderful person.
She's the one who raised Rinka, so you're right about that.
So says Maharu, who I'm pretty sure hasn't actually met my gran. There's plenty to talk about while we eat our dinner. The topics often revolve around Sonia's family. Her grandmother in particular sounds like a nice person, and she's apparently good at sewing. Why do you think
She's good at suing?
I am terrible at pronouncing like normal words tonight. Oh my god. In fact, she's the one who made Pasahir for Sonia.
I never had any friends, so my grandmother gifted Pasahir to me, so I wouldn't be lonely while reading books and watching anime. It had the chance to see the world along with me today, so I'm sure it's as happy as I am.
A heavy yawn erupts from Sonia after that, almost as if to lighten the mood.
Now that I've eaten, I'm starting to feel sleepy.
We did a lot of walking today, so get some rest, okay?
Okay, good night.
Saying that, she makes her way upstairs. Maharu and I are now alone together downstairs. Maharu ends up being the one to strike up conversation while we tidy everything up.
I didn't notice anyone following us, so numeral 11 certainly seems to be confident. Whimsical, even.
I could tell Maharu was on edge the entire day, mainly because I was the same way when I first met Sonia. It's not far-fetched to assume that one person would keep an eye on her parents, and the other would watch Sonia, since two participants are working together. In this case, numeral 3, Federico Carminati, would probably watch her parents, while numeral 11 would be in charge of Sonia because she's the one holding her cards. I understand why she's so confident when she's got all three of Sonia's cards, but what makes you call her whimsical?
From what I gather, she really wanted Sonia to enjoy her final few days here.
Okay.
If she really wanted to make sure Sonia wouldn't work with her parents to dig up info on them, then she'd prevent them from meeting up, even on the final day. That goes without saying. And yet, she granted Sonia the opportunity to be with her family. It makes her seem compassionate at a glance. But there's more to it than that. In truth, she didn't place the shackles on Sonia, she tied the hands on her parents.
I'm not sure I follow.
Well, there's no guarantee that Sophia's parents believe her regarding the divine selection. They might have brought her here under the false assumption that she's made a temporary recovery. In that case, they'd never let her have fatty foods like pizza. Bear in mind that I'm talking from an objective standpoint here, and not my personal opinion regarding pizza. I don't think she would have been able to see the world she wanted had she stayed with her parents. Do you understand where I'm going with this yet?
True. I think back to Sonia's comment about having the freedom to eat what she likes. Pointing that out must mean she previously didn't have that freedom. Sonia's definition of seeing the world at large differs from ours, and numeral 11's actions enable her to fulfill that one desire.
Of course, I doubt she expected Sophia to run into us. Even then, the desire for her to minimize that regret is definitely there. 2 or 3 days likely isn't enough for her to completely remove her regret, but I think it's safe to say that her tears tonight would have held a completely different meaning had she been with her parents.
See, that makes sense. I'm not sure I can say this was the correct option, but at the very least, Sonia seems to have been happy from the bottom of her heart.
This may serve as an important foundation when it comes to learning more about numeral 11, too. That's not the main point of this discussion, though. Instead, I want you to consider joining forces with me for the remainder of the divine selection.
She stares deep into my eyes. It takes a while, but she finally comes out with a proposition that feels long overdue. I was gonna say, I'm surprised she hasn't tried to say it plainly earlier on. I stare right back, unable to say anything in response. My brain completely shuts down. I honestly have no idea what to say. I can hear the sound of her breathing, noticing that her nerves are building with each and every breath. I finally answer. I'm sorry, but I can't. You have every intention to make me the final survivor, don't you?
I do. But you need to realize that I'd be doing it for my own sake as well.
That doesn't change anything. It's not fair to partner up with you when I haven't resolved to do the same for your sake. Still can't decide which one of us deserves to live through this. There's no way I'd be fine letting one of my closest friends give their life away. And yet, I don't want to die without knowing my own regret, without knowing why I got wrapped up in all this to begin with. As long as I've got stuff like that on my mind, I'll only hold you back in the end. There's no doubt I'll face situations similar to when I confronted Alan at the hospital again. I'm sure my resolve will take a hit again when that time comes.
You regret it.
Miharu trails off. There's no need for her to speak when her expression screams the complicated thoughts she's having. The silence doesn't last too long either.
I'm fairly sure that you should have an idea about my cause of death. I'm also sure that you'd be appalled by it too. It's fine, though. I'm okay with maintaining the status quo, even if my stance on the matter hasn't changed. My fate exists for your sake, so I'll simply wait for the day when you finally clear up your own personal doubts.
Why are you so desperate to give your life for mine? Surely you have your own regret to care about. You do have your own cards, don't you?
It's because I love you.
Oh my god. Love? Exclamation throws me off at first. But naturally she must... Surely she means in a friendly way. Surely.
No, she doesn't. Anyway, we should get some sleep ourselves. You're planning on seeing Sophia off tomorrow, aren't you?
I love you. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Yeah, I do. I know she's the type of person to use suggestive lines to mask her actual feelings. It doesn't stop me from getting all flustered though. Ooh. Maybe because there's the off chance that she means it? In that case, I have no idea how to handle the situation. That's make it even worse. Getting to sleep is no easy task after going back to my room. There's way too much on my mind. Lingering in my head is most what Miharu said, that I should have an idea about her cause of death. I don't outright deny her claim because, well, it's true. I've just been desperately trying to avoid thinking about it because I don't want to see my thoughts regarding my friend's death get turned into a card. There's one thing I can say for sure regardless. There's no way I'd ever think less of you over it. Seems she's fast asleep already, judging by her breathing. Can't help but be impressed by how good she looks, even while sleeping. Damn. Or not to notice the scar on her wrist peeking out from under her sleeve.
Got a guess?
I brew some coffee for both Sonia and Miharu once morning comes around. Sonia doesn't want to drink hers black, so I make sure to put some milk and sugar in.
This is my first time drinking coffee. It was delicious.
It's been a while since I had coffee here. The taste seems to have changed, too.
Well, it was my grandmother who made it last time, so that's not a surprise to hear.
That's not it. I was implying that I've changed. I can tell that it's your coffee based on the fragrance alone.
Like coffee, huh? I suppose I've been making slight changes to the way I prepare it for a while. That doesn't matter right now, though. Rather, I can't help but lose myself as I stare at Maharu basking in the morning glow while enjoying her coffee. It causes me to recall her comment from last night, which forces me to avert my eyes. Sonia is staring at her too. Not sure if she noticed me doing so and follows suit, but she eventually smiles and speaks up.
I have a request for the both of you. I'd like to leave Passazir with you.
Huh? But it's an important gift for your grandmother, isn't it?
Passazir,
That's me.
it's
Passagier. It's Russian for traveler, isn't it?
wow, you understand my home language? I'm impressed.
The name must represent your desire to go out and see the world. A pang of sadness hits me as I remember Keiko's belief regarding the meaning behind one's name, although I do my best to hide it behind a smile. What is it you want us to do with it?
I want you to show it the world in my place.
She holds her closest friends out to Maharu with that beaming smile of hers.
There's no point in handing it over to me.
This is a request for the both of you.
He leaves Pasahir on the table at which Maharu is sitting, and prepares to continue with her request. Maharu unconsciously strokes its head with her finger. At least I assume it is unconscious of her, since she retracts her finger the moment she realizes what she's doing.
Would you mind listening to what I have to say? The goddess said that originally all 12 of us were supposed to have gathered in the same place 12 weeks from the beginning of divine selection. In reality, my parents planned to take me on a trip if my condition didn't get any worse. They had even decided on bringing me to Tokyo.
Fate changed its course, and your condition grew worse. Still, that means you were originally supposed to come here.
Yes, fate changed its course by having me die before we could take the trip. The important part here is that fate can change. If I can do so for the worst, then it can also do so for the best. The goddess said that fate will allow only one of us to make it to the end. But if fate is something that can change in a whim, then it's possible that it can be altered to let both of you make it through. Together. It may be too late for me, but I believe that you two will show even more of the world to Passahir together.
Think it's possible to change fate?
It's not. Even if we could, all that would change is which one of us makes it through. And believe me, it wouldn't be anyone other than Rinka as long as I'm around. Don't forget that it's the same goddess's rules that are keeping us alive right now.
That's true, but still, I won't take my request back.
Sonia speaks with enough confidence to refute Miharu's denial. The look in her eyes tells me that she is convinced by her own words too.
Selfish till the very end, aren't we?
This is my final will, so yes.
I see. I won't make any promises, but let me ask you, Rinka, are you willing to carry out her request?
Yeah. I nod firmly to reinforce my response. This is probably the only thing I can do for her now.
In that case, I'll be on my way. Thank you for giving me some of your precious time.
Sure. Take care.
Yeah. I promise I won't forget about the fun time we spent together.
Being with you two made me very happy too. Uh-oh, I should leave before it gets too hard for me to do so. All right, farewell.
She bows deeply before leaving. I watch her sink down into the horizon from the store window.
Off she goes.
I am too caught up in my own thoughts to properly register what Miharu says. Nothing can change the fact that Sonya is going to be eliminated tonight. When I think about it, I only have 2 of her cards. I don't even have the option of triggering a simultaneous election like I did with Keko. Granted, even if I did, it'd be nothing more than a temporary measure to console myself. But seeing her walk off on her own like that is too much.
Rinka?
Before I can catch myself, I lose my composure, and the tears pouring down my face are proof of that.
This right here is why I called this situation dumb when I first learned about it. You said you didn't regret your decision, though. Does that hold true? Even now?
I can't compose myself to respond verbally, so I have to nod in response.
And this right here is exactly why I love you.
She sits down next to me after saying that. The moment our shoulders touch, I turn and cling onto her. She stays by my side the entire time I cry.
Okay.
Yay. After a glass of cold water, I manage to calm myself down. Meanwhile, Miharu gets ready to leave because she has to go to work. I'll see you at school. Bye bye.
I'll see you at school tomorrow.
Yeah. Sorry for crying so much. Today reminded me how weak I am in comparison to you.
You may not realize it yourself, but I'd say you're far stronger than me.
I deny her claim with a shake of my head as she smiles at me.
We're not even halfway through Divine Selection. Remember that I'll be waiting for you once you've cleared up your own doubts.
Thanks. I'd appreciate if you showed the same concern for yourself, though.
Right back at you. Oh, and I said I'd see you at school tomorrow, but I guess we'll see each other in the dream world before then.
Hey, that's not a very funny joke. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
That said, she turns and makes her way out. I should be used to being alone here, yet it somehow feels a lot more quiet than before. It wasn't long ago that the 3 of us were talking and laughing together. It's already almost afternoon, but I decided to open the store up. I also decided to give my gran a call later on in the evening. I was thinking we finish up the Divine Selection part here, and then we can wrap up stream for today.
Yeah, that sounds
good.
Also,
Yeah.
Miharu killed herself.
Yeah.
No.
How did Rinka know about that, though? Or
I don't think Rinka did know.
oh, okay.
I think Miharu just thought it was obvious or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But, like, it's just, like, the scars on her wrists, and she doesn't care about her life at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Dang.
Good evening, my lovely little slaves to fate.
And thus, today's session begins. Parka's graceful voice rings throughout the court. I really can't fathom what's going through her mind. For what purpose does she divulge the intricacies of fate to us? What drove her to begin Divine Selection in the first place?
My, aren't we a gloomy bunch?
I refuse to even consider her motivation before now. I saw her as some ethereal being completely removed from the logic of humans. But now I find it hard not to remember what Sonya said. Fate can be changed. The idea of being able to alter the very events of this ritual had never come to mind.
Come, why not lighten the mood and engage me in some riveting discussion? Cut the crap and get on with it.
Alan's curt response serves its attempt to hurry things along. I wonder where he is in the real world. I stopped researching him after meeting Sonia.
You're often in quite the rush, aren't you? Is there any particular reason for this? I'm not one for pointless chit-chat. Besides, you're supposed to be the neutral party. Did you not consider the possibility that the other participants could benefit from my talking to you? Surely you wouldn't be pleased with your own actions if they give others an unfair advantage, would you? Goodness, did something happen to my memory? I certainly don't recall making any claims about being a neutral party, nor that divine selection would be conducted in a fair manner.
That was Soap's character, so that's Yunya.
Hold on. Hold on. That ain't right.
Federico Carminati is the next to chime in. Actually, this might be the first time I've heard him speak. Now that he's got my attention, I realize he might actually be the tallest one here. Pretty stylish to boot. The suit he's wearing looks great on him. I wouldn't blame anyone if they confused him for a model.
I sure as hell ain't fine with the idea of this whole thing being rigged when it's my own life on the line.
Christ, this guy. Oh my, is something the matter, numeral 3?
Numeral 11 reacts to Federico's outburst, which causes Maharu to shoot me a quick glance. Looks like those two really are working together.
Hell, this whole thing's been unfair ever since the cards were distributed at the beginning. Two of the cards belong to people that guy's already eliminated.
He points towards Alan as he stated his concerns.
So it's safe to say that you only have one card of value remaining on your initial lot, then?
What?
Feel free to voice your issues regarding the system itself, but only a fool would lay information like that out in the open.
I'm gonna make you regret it if you keep running that mouth, asshole.
I have no issue with the current system, so I'd prefer if you sped things along. Very well. I assume you're fine with it too.
He turns to face Federico. He refuses to comply, raising his voice in a panic instead.
Just a sec here. Are the rest of y'all fine with this?
He directs his question outwards to the remaining participants, his arms spread wide. No one responds to him, though. Not even number 11, his partner.
There's your answer. They may have their own issues, but they're all united in not making a scene and embarrassing themselves like you have. What's more, they'd prefer not to make their own incompetence known to others, like you have.
I won't let you forget this, punk.
Don't worry, I have no intention of forgetting it until you've been eliminated.
Damn. Arca ends up being the one to interrupt their argument with a sigh.
Really now? Can you not save your argument for the real world? Assuming you meet there, of course.
Following that, she makes her way to the center of the court.
Regardless, allow me to begin tonight's election. Revolve, O clock of fate.
Once again, it's time for us to decide whether or not we want to elect someone. The thing proceed as Sonia believes, numeral 11 will elect numeral 10 tonight. I grit my teeth at the inevitable and announce that I won't be electing anyone. Next is Maharu, who will likely say the same. This is the fourth election, and it's safe to say there's a solid split between how each of us is approaching the situation. Some have opted to go all out with info gathering, while others are choosing to sit back and let the situation unfold. The fact that numerals 11 and 12 were the only ones to elect anyone yet is proof of that. Oh.
My turn then. In that case, I'll be electing you, numeral 10.
What the?
Oh, a first timer will be taking the plunge.
Interesting.
Very well. Allow me to question the remaining participants first.
I can't hide my surprise. That's not good because it would act as a hint to others, as it's known by this point that we're acquaintances. But that is enough to stop me from acting out. Meanwhile, Sonia seems unfazed by Miharu's election. Don't tell me. Did they plan this from the beginning?
It protects the information that Sonia has.
Yep. Exactly. So Miharu might as well be the one to do it.
Yeah.
The conversation that night wasn't just Sonia about having Miharu's name card, but this as well. As I'm mulling it over, the clock hand eventually revolves around to numeral 11.
Yeah, I've got an election all right. Same as that broad over there. I'm going for numeral 10.
Ooh. He points to Sonia.
Fuck, I have 3 characters that I'm gonna have to voice this.
Oh no. It's obvious that she hasn't anticipated this scenario. She doesn't seem to be bent out of shape though. She looks more like she's enjoying this turn of events, much like a predator would if it bears its fangs upon its prey. Number 11 knows that Sonia has her name card. If Miharu eliminates Sonia, then it's possible that she could end up with said card. Naturally, this is something numeral 11 would want to avoid. The same likely applies to Miharu. That's why they're both aiming to have Sonia's election called off. It wouldn't make sense for either of them to put their own cards out there to protect another.
So was it in your script for this when this kind of situation comes about? We ascertain whether or not you wish to obtain election priority, which requires that you reveal a personal card to other participants. Whoever does so first will be at a disadvantage, so do make your intentions known at the same time. Should you wish to obtain priority, then by all means, present me with one of your personal cards. I ain't too fussed about fair or unfair. Gonna make it clear that I'm not interested in doing that, so the decision's all yours, girlie. Come now, numeral 11. I would appreciate it if you'd abide by my proposed rule. Your stance on the matter, numeral 2?
Haruka turns to face Miharu, speaking in a slow and soft tone. Miharu nods in response, opening her card book. She produces one card from it.
I'll reveal my name card to the rest of the participants. Now that I have the right to do so, numeral 10, I elect you.
Sonia remains unfazed by this turn of events. Her expression seems forlorn, but that's been true ever since Divine Selection began. Meanwhile, numeral 11 has stopped smiling. She's giving Miharu a vitriolic glare instead.
She abandoned her own name. Well, no denying she's an interesting one. Very well. With that decided, numeral 2 and numeral 10, allow me to begin the election procedure.
Familiar tremor accompanies her statement. Shortly after, Miharu and Sonia's platforms ascend to the upper stratum. Miharu and Sonia face one another in the upper stratum of the Court of Fate. Neither look too happy about what will soon take place. Regardless, they make sure to maintain eye contact.
Thank you, Miharu.
I'm the one that should be thanking you. I certainly never expected such a proposition for you, but your decision is the right one.
Yes, I knew that sister wouldn't be able to find it in her to do this.
I've already settled on giving my life for Rinka, so stealing myself for the events like this is an easy feat. Good evening once again.
Haruka appears out of nowhere as usual, offering them both a welcoming smile. Miharu looks more than displeased by her presence.
I see you two are already acquainted. What's more, you don't seem hostile towards one another like other participants have been.
The only hostility present right now is being directed towards Parka herself. Maharu makes her desire to not engage with Parka clear by changing the subject.
So what do I do now? Choose the 3 cards that correspond to numeral 10 and read their contents aloud to me. Right.
Miharu's cards emerge from her book and float in the air in front of her. She plucks 3 cards from them.
Her name is Sophia Presence Alexeyevna. I won't go into detail, but her cause of death was from illness. Sophia, I still can't make any promises regarding your request, but Rinka said she's willing to carry it out. That being the case, I'll do everything I can to help her. Just remember that my priority is to ensure that she makes it through to the end.
I'm aware of this. I can still say with all my confidence that meeting both of you has brought me more happiness than I'd ever experienced before. Please take care of Pasha's ear for me.
We will.
Miharu casts her eyes back down to her cards. A few moments later, she closes her eyes and recites the contents of the 3rd card.
Her regret was not having the freedom to see the world at large.
All 3 cards begin to move in their own in response. Once they reach the middle of the Court of Fate, they come together and form a triangular shape.
I'm not fond of goodbyes. I'd much prefer you pray for myself and Rinka's happiness.
Okay.
She takes a deep breath before clasping her hands together and offering up a prayer.
May Rinka and Miharu find joy in their future.
Thank you, Sophia. I'll never forget you. May your soul rest in peace.
The light from Miharu's cards grows stronger and brighter until it engulfs the entire area. Miharu makes sure to keep her eyes on Sonia's tear-stained face, no matter how blinding the light grows. Feelings of regret and emptiness begin to flow into her. She finds herself laying in Sophia's bed in her room. The doctors rushed in as her parents looked on, praying for her safety. The girl reflected upon her life as her breathing grew ever more pained. The ceiling of this room was perhaps the most viewed scenery she'd been witnessed throughout her life. She could only ever experience the outside world through a book or a monitor. Freedom remained a foreign concept. Just how much time did she spend imagining the wonders that would come with attaining such a thing? In the end, her life was nothing but dull. Dull to the point where she spent her final moments contemplating her reality and how it compared to the fast world she'd so longed to experience.
You have to be rotten to the core to make us experience the last moments of those we eliminate. Unfortunately, I had no say in the matter. Do not forget that this is a ritual. Your election tonight has forcefully reverted the fate of that young girl back to its original course. The Court of Fate exists to carry out that ritual. Alas, nothing can be done about each participant being affected by the aftermath of their own actions. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that you had no say in the matter? Despite the ritual being named Divine Selection, is there a force involved here that you cannot control?
Rather than receive an answer, Miharu's platform begins its descent. It returns to the lower stratum.
I'm not terribly fond of needless curiosities.
Arka utters her words only after Miharu has gone far enough away. Numero 2 comes back instead of Odette this time. Been obvious that her and Numero 1 know each other ever since this whole thing started. I also figure they aren't at odds with each other, which means likely they're working together. Like me and Odette. Damn, did tonight ever take me
That
by
means
surprise?
this is Frederico.
Yep. I was sure she'd back down once Odette said she would. Odette's obviously going to prioritize protecting her own information over eliminating Sophia. Even if the chance of me cooperating with Sophia existed, it was still a lot less dangerous for Odette to get a hold of the information Sophia had than another participant. Odette's point in ignoring what Parka said was to make it clear that there's no need for Numero 2 to reveal one of her cards. But she went and gave up her name card anyway.
This sure is throwing me for a loop.
Gotta say that Numero 1 sure is a little runt compared to Numero 2. I assume they're both Asian, but boy does Numero 2 have the right glamour proportions. Figured she'd get eliminated pretty quick, but she went ahead and surprised me. That's a woman after my own heart. I forgot how much Federico talked about his opinions on women. Oh my god. The best women are the gutsy ones, definitely. Not counting freaks in nature like Odette, of course.
Which card would you like to obtain?
She poses the all-important question to Numero 2. No doubt she's gunning for Odette's card.
I'll take numeral 1's cause of death.
Oh. Damn. She betrays my expectations yet again.
Needs the information and protect it.
What's going on here? She had that all along? Doesn't look like anyone's more surprised by this turn of events than Numero 1 herself. Can't blame her. Out of all the cards Numero 2 could have picked, she went with one belonging to the person she's working together with.
Why do you satisfy your urge to keep talking? Understand that the situation you're in requires being silent above all else.
Not wrong. Numero 2 slaps her with a frigid verbal warning. Numero 1 is obviously taken aback, but it does cause her to keep quiet.
Now that your election is over, I'd like you to hand me the personal card you're choosing in exchange for obtaining the right to eliminate numeral 10. I assume this is fine.
Parka approaches her and is handed a card. Our card book begins to shine immediately after. To name Habinata Miharu.
Maharu Hebanata, huh?
Miharu is pretty easy for me to pronounce. Guess this explains the procedure for revealing a card to others. It was more fitting to say that everyone simply obtains it. The others check their card books as well. Why Miharu?
I have nothing more to say to you at the moment.
Number 1 was surprised over obtaining her card too. That means Miharu never revealed her real name. Safe to say what's going on here at this point. If you ask me. Their relationship's done for.
Tonight's session resulted in 1 elimination. I bid you all farewell for now.
Parka brings an end to tonight's election, ignoring number 1's shock over the turn of events. This whole situation's gone pretty messy now. I was starting to panic a bit myself, considering Odette and numeral 12 were outdoing me, but I guess we're at the point where anything can happen. And hey, watching Odette get taken for a ride felt amazing. I was even planning on approaching Miharu had she opted to go with Odette's info, but seems like I'm best sticking with Odette for now. When all is said and done, I have to put some serious effort into attaining this newfound ambition of mine. Fourth week complete. And I think that is a good spot to end it for today.
I just realized that he has his own theme music. Like this is what plays when we are from his perspective, right?
Oh, true. I never noticed that actually.
There's music.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
I have the game's audio off.
It goes boom, 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 boom.
Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum,
Me
ba-dum,
too.
bum.
Oh, I see.
I save again. Double save. I actually like the music soundtrack so far. It's been pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like them. I just like being able to focus more, and the music tends to like zone me out, like it did in Otome Domain. Like it zoned me out a lot.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, you listened to the Heart of the Woods music, right, Yuki?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like that one?
Yeah, I like that one too. Like I've liked all their soundtracks so far. It's just like, music just tends to make me disassociate.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Alrighty then, everybody. Damn, I was not expecting Miharu to be the one to eliminate Sophia. I was not expecting that at all, actually.
Does make sense.
Yeah, it does definitely make sense. It was definitely the right move. But I'm definitely surprised that she didn't get Odette's thing. I feel like that probably would have been the more optimal move, maybe.
Yeah, but her goal really is just to make Rinka happy. So Rinka knowing her cause of death is probably. But then she could have just told her Rinka's cause of death.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like that's like that's the thing. Could have just literally could have just asked for it, whereas Odette's would be easily way harder. I think her giving her name was probably like the smartest thing she could give to like ensure that she eliminated Sophia, I guess, out of all of her cards, because like the name is definitely like the easiest one to get out of the three of them. I think that was definitely the right decision, but yeah, can't wait to see where this turns out from here. Guess we'll have to find out next week. Alright, thank you all once again for stopping by and hanging out with us. We will be hopefully doing some more of this next Saturday at 8 p.m. EST, same time, same place. And hopefully Soap and Koi will be able to join us next time. Yeah. Let's just see who we want to raid for.
Yeah, who we raiding?
Who to raid? Who the heck to raid?
Three.
Ooh. I think we're gonna send Scrubway a raid. He is the creator of a bunch of my emotes. He did the sit emote and he did the goober emote. So we're gonna go send Scrubway.
Ooh, I love the goober emote.
Yeah, it's the goober. I think goober is one of my favorite static.
Goober is like probably my most used puns emote, besides the chair spin actually.
Yeah, she uses it on me all the time.
Cute. Oh, I'm glad you guys actually use my emotes. That's so awesome to hear. It's always cool when I see people use my emotes. I was like, oh my god, that's so who used it. I'm back in with a new name. Hi, American Orange Juice. What was your previous name? Is that you, MJ, or is that, or no?
I don't know. MJ did say that MJ was gonna be Dr. Snowpepper.
Oh, I Snow. Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Welcome back, Snow. Welcome back. Welcome back. Unfortunately, you caught us at a bad time. We're just about to raid out, but I will remember that you changed your name, Snow. Thank you for letting me know. No, yes, yes, yes.
American orange juice. I like seeing name changes. It's like, ooh. Is it the same vibe?
Yeah, I don't mind when people change their name and stuff. I hate it when I don't like it when people change the name and then just don't tell me though, and then they're just like, and then they're like, what? And then they act like, well, you don't remember me? I'm like, it's me. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Nothing wrong with changing your name from time to time. I thought about changing my name a few times while streaming, but unfortunately, as a streamer, if I change my name, I would have to change my name everywhere, and that's just way too much of a pain in the butt. Because I need to change my Twitter name, I need to change my YouTube name, I need to change my name and all my socials. So it's just like, that's way too much work.
Changing a rebrand, it's a lot of work.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know Taiga? I know of the Femboy streamer Bungo Taiga. I don't know. I think there's another.
There is another Taiga. Oh, never mind. That's it.
Okay. I don't think Taiga's changed their. No, she changed her pronouns to she, her, right? I don't think she changed her name recently, right? Oh yeah, I'm gonna send you over to Scrubway. He's the artist for the Sit and the Goober emotes, so go send him my love. He looks like he's doing a little donathon, so go send him my love and support. Thank you all once again for stopping by and hanging out with me, and hopefully I'll see you guys around next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye 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 bye.